Hey everyone, this is Luck powering on. How goes it? Book.
We read Mark of Athena. It's so long. It's so long. I think
I
it's
wasn't expecting so many POVs. I feel like I should have been.
it was a lot of POVs. It was a lot of words. It was a lot of pages. House of Hades I think is actually the longest one. That's like the one coming for us right
Mm.
now at high speeds. Uh Hey everyone, we're here to talk about the newest, well not the newest. This is what, like 10 years old? 10 plus years old? No, like older. Oh my god, older. Oh my god, older. This is like 2010 or something, and in my brain that was like 10 years ago. Yeah.
That was like last
That
week.
was like last week. No, okay. This book was published, Google's it, in 2012, a while ago.
Hmm.
Second ago. It was published before some of the cast members of Percy Jackson the show were born. Uh this was
Oh, that's
also
that's kind of depressing.
this was also the last like book that I read. I never finished it. I got like, I'm gonna say, three-quarters of the way through. I think I got exactly to the part where Annabeth goes on her solo mission before I kind of just stopped reading.
Hmm.
And I,
And I
yeah.
would also like to say this is the last book I have read.
Haha.
That's it. That.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, it was the last one that I read as a kid or as a teen, and I don't remember exactly why I stopped here. Honestly, though now rereading it, I was starting to suspect. I was starting to realize why, even though I did not hate this book. I quite liked it, I think, but there were definitely certain parts about it that were irritating at times. Certain parts of it tested my patience. You know,
Ooh, I can't wait to hear some of your elaborations for
there
that.
was like me and Luck. We were playing Baldur's Gate 3 today, right? We got to the Shar Temple, all those like puzzles. It Baldur's Gate 3 is like one of my favorite games of all time, but the temple tested my patience a bit. You know, so it sometimes the things you like do that to you. So I don't want to say that is I hated this book. I quite liked it, but it did test me. Okay, my summary for this, the summary that I wrote right before we started this, basically. Hear it out. Hear me out. The prophecy of the seven commences. The Roman camp and the Greek camp are united for maybe a few seconds. The Romans declare war on the Greeks, the Titans declare war on everyone, and the gods are at war with themselves in a psychological sense. And the seven, well, unless they can set aside their differences, they may not be far behind. And in the midst of all this chaos, Annabeth, daughter of Athena, has been given the most dangerous quest of her life, one she must walk alone. Now, judging off the title, you might suspect that this is an Annabeth story. It kind of is. Also isn't. Yeah. She has she
Iffy.
she has one of what, five POVs? So right, you get a rotation of Annabeth. No, it's four. Annabeth, Leo, Piper, Percy. That's your rotation of point of views.
Yeah.
Um and because her quest, it, like I said, is so much of a solo mission, whenever you are not you let Athena mark you.
You know what? I agree. I
Fair.
agree.
We support women in men's fields, deadbeat parenting included.
I thought you were about to say we support women's wrongs, but yes, that works too.
Yep. So when
Man, I love mothers who just emotionally dump their problems onto their children.
if anything, this book is like almost like two books within one. Yeah, so you have the quest of the seven, and then just parallel to that, Annabeth is doing her own side story of the Mark of Athena. And whenever we're not focused on like Annabeth, the Mark of Athena quest ceases to really matter that
Yeah.
much. Um, which is a bit of a shame because I think you and I agreed that her parts were some of the most compelling in the book. So it's a shame that it's only like a
Yeah, I
fourth of
wish
it.
it. Yeah. I wish it kind of was more expanded upon, but the inherent nature of how it went would always isolate Annabeth from that.
It would, and but also I can't deny that at the end of the day, it was a very her journey was a very satisfying one. So it's hard to be all that mad over it. You know, I can't imagine the alternative where it's like, you know, it would be have to publish it would have to be published like aside as a novella, or like having to stretch it out into its own like 300-page book. That couldn't have worked. This
Yeah.
is it in its ideal form, I think, warts and all.
Yeah, though this might be putting the goose ahead the gander, however the fuck the phrase went. I still think that she is going to have a great POV come the next book, now that she already has some of the development from this book.
Yeah, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I agree
Mhm.
with you. I think the next book has managed to justify her separation from the plot in a significantly more interesting way. And I think because of
Yes.
that, rather than it being like annoying every time we're not in her POV or one of the other characters is like dicking about, it'll instead maybe even add some tension. The next book is called The House of Hades, and we're going to get into what is going on with that once we get to the end here, because they really don't talk about it, what that means, until like chapter 48, right?
It's like
This,
the House of Blues, but like Hades runs it. Oh wait, I'm
let's
thinking of Stray Gods and Persephone.
yeah. House of Hades your favorite, Loki? I have never read it, so I'm gonna be getting to read it for the first time really soon here. Um,
Yippee.
yeah, it's really long, so I'm gonna try and take my time the best I can. Amidst my other readings that I probably will have to do next month.
Mhm.
Sound off in the comments if you'd rather force me to read every single Pixie Hollow book next month, or if you would rather force me to read Lore of Olympus. Let's go. Both now. Oh well, which one first? Okay. Okay, so are we ready to do our chapter by? Oh wait, we both basically
Yeah,
gave our opinion, our summary, everything. You know, spoilers ahead.
mhm.
Obviously, ready for the chapter by chapter,
I feel like
our
it,
deep
yes.
analysis as it goes. Okay, so first chapter. My first note was that it felt weird that it's taken this long to get an Annabeth POV,
Mhm.
and I will elaborate that on that a bit. So, funny thing, and Mark of Athena came up quite a bit when we were talking about the most recent season of Percy Jackson, the Disney Plus show, because
Yeah.
Sea of Monsters the book is like basically Annabeth's story in a lot of ways, and they made it less her story in the series for reasons that make sense to me, even as it like frustrates me a little bit.
It's basically like I get the executive and creative angle, but we
Yeah.
did like the book's handling of like, yeah, she's just Odysseus. She's low key the main character.
Yeah, and it's her arc. She's been consistently a very important character to the series. And they've been doing multiple POVs for a while. So while this is literally the earliest opportunity possible for them to give us a POV from her, this is the first like book. It's only the third book in
It,
this series, and
it's
it's the first
because
one
Rick
she's
didn't
been
have
involved. Yeah.
yeah. It's because Rick didn't have the idea for multiple POVs until after.
The
It's, hmm?
the other two books were almost entirely new characters. So,
Yes.
with the sole exception of Percy and Son of Neptune. All the others were brand new OCs. So really it's not until this point that we had the opportunity to come back around to our girl, Annabeth Chase.
Exactly.
And it was well earned in my opinion. So we basically come like right as like literally right at the ending of Son of Neptune, like just like like you go from the last page of Son of Neptune right to the first page of this, right? You know, Percy was just like made praetor or something. He was given some
Mhm.
kind of title, and the Greek demigods were coming. Here, the Greek demigods are here. They're on the ship. They're on the big ship with Leo's insane design involving like Wii remotes and all that. I like the way they describe
It
his
legit
machinery.
was. I love it.
The way they describe his
Yeah.
machinery is so much fun. He, it's so it has so much
It's the
whimsy.
It's the perfect mix between childish creation and Greek engineering.
It is like how like a 15-year-old gearhead would imagine a like cool warship.
Literally stared with a
Yeah.
fucking Wiimote.
The goddamn Wiimote. That's how you know it's 2012. It's a Wiimote. Emotion controls.
uh,
So okay, where are we? Oh yeah, so
something that I yeah, something I actually did have written down is very interesting to see the character with brain cells POV.
mm. It is right. Most of our main characters have not been strong in that.
Yeah, we
Exception
had
of like what?
Percy, we had Jace.
Exception of what? Like I guess Frank
Yeah,
has some brain cells, and of course Hazel and Piper are decently smart.
yeah, but like
Jason's
Jason,
a dumb jock.
Leo, yeah,
Leo
Leo is
Leo's
Leo is
smart
smart in very
theoretically.
specific ways.
He is a unique type of intelligence. I say non-pejoratively.
It's what makes him better. I can't wait to talk about the chapter.
Oh my gosh,
Shout
we'll
out
get there.
Narcissus.
We'll get there. That was you were sending me TikToks about that.
It was so funny. I can't believe there's
It was
people
fun.
in the fandom still joking about it right as we're doing this book.
So there are seven main characters. Yeah, so the seven include Percy, Annabeth, Jason, Piper, Leo, and Frank and Hazel. Yeah?
You forgot one. Someone else who was aboard the ship.
Coach Hedge?
Our boy Coach
He's not
Edge.
one of the seven. You know I didn't mean him.
I know, but still, he's great. I
Let me
love
get
him.
back on track. There's the seven, right? Those are our seven main characters, ostensibly. Only four POVs there. I was a little surprised that they didn't do seven POVs. I think that's what I was expecting. But four makes more sense because basically, whenever we're in one of those POVs, that's when we're kind of like in where that's when we get to see what's going on with someone else, right? If it's
Yeah,
gonna be Piper's POV, 100% chance that Jason is gonna be involved. Leo is hanging out a lot with Hazel and Frank due to his whole tie. We find out, Son of Neptune. We found out that he looks exactly like Sammy, Hazel's old like boyfriend from like the 1940s.
Beast
Um,
Abuelo.
yes, yes. Uh, Spoilers, but
It's okay. The people here don't know Spanish.
Muelo's pretty common. That's a pretty common one. Like I feel like a lot of people know that one. Anyway,
It's fine.
um, so as a result, that's how we get everyone in there. Though it does sometimes lead to like the three left behind feeling a little left behind in the development sense. Yeah,
A little, yeah.
yeah, like having already been of the opinion that Jason is a little boring, this didn't like fix that for me. And Pipe and Frank and Hazel, who I quite liked in Son of Neptune, uh have already started to maybe overstay their welcome as characters a bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, I kind of feel like I wanted to see more of Frank, just because it's like I don't really remember him being the sweetie he's supposed to be. Is it because we're not seeing his POV?
He was mean. He was mean in this. He was mean in
He
this in a way that
kind of
I didn't
was.
expect and that I didn't quite like.
Yeah,
I
I was.
think yeah. Let's okay. I have a whole section about that. We'll wait. We'll wait a sec.
You will have to get like at least what was it, chapter 20 something ish before
Yeah,
they start
yeah.
talking more about
A lot of
them.
my individual chapter notes are small though, because if anything, I was taking it more as like more by section.
POVs.
I read each POV in one sitting,
Mhm.
so that's kind of how I took it. I really
Oh,
only
okay,
took
okay.
notes at the end of each chapter. So, chapter 2, Percy and Annabeth, they reunite. Uh
Octavian's a bitch.
Very sweet. I I got to say I do like Percabeth. Am I
Mhm.
call me out if I'm wrong here. Uh, I feel like I like Persebeth a little less now that they've actually gotten together. Is that weird? Was I weird
I
for
think it's
that?
because you are a sucker for good yearning.
Is that just me? Is that just my brain? Am I
I
just
don't know.
broken?
I personally was thoroughly enjoying the fact that Annabeth literally gone up to Percy, kissed him, and then threw him onto the ground
That
because
was
how
fun.
dare that was fun.
That was fun. That was a
Yeah.
that was a fun 10 out of 10 Persebeth moment.
Hmm.
I think it's maybe the asexual in me sometimes that was just like,
I mean, you're asexual, not aromantic.
well, yeah, but I don't
Are
know.
you?
They start I'm ace,
Oh, okay.
but like it's yeah, I don't know. I just some of the I don't know. I that's a
It didn't feel as strong as what you're trying
it
to
didn't
say.
it didn't. I don't know. I thought it was okay. What the give me a second here.
Oh, okay. I mean, for me, it might be because I'm a bit of rom-com trash,
Let me answer.
and I'm.
Let me answer something in the Discord.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll just keep yapping away. And yes, I do mean trash. I don't exactly read peak yearning. No, I read like trashy manga. Like three of them have the same exact concept. But basically, I have a low bar for what I think is good depictions of romance. I see people being cute together, see them actively liking each other, and my monkey brain go, "Ooh, cute couple." So I think that more or less might be my bias rather than Lily's bias, personally for me.
It
But
yeah.
yeah, I still think they had their good moments of yearning of how, during this adventure, they kept having to be apart from each other due to one thing or another. Heck, as we said before, Annabeth's main mission was something she could only do alone, which, again, a little bit of the sorrow of parting that they had. And it all culminates to a very great moment at the end, in my opinion, which we will get to at that end. Lily, you back yet?
I'm back. I had to answer our mutual friend Krim, and by that I mean tell her that I needed to talk later.
Oh, already.
Okay. Okay, speaking of which, yeah, I figure I'll just put a pin in it there, just that like, I felt less compelled by the romance here than I had in earlier books. Could just be yeah, my addiction to yearning. I s- s- because of what House of Hades plot, because of what it seems like it's going to be, I will like probably get back to you on that like then when we get more with the two of them, you know?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If that made any sense. Um
I'll be honest, I didn't quite process that fully. I was looking at the Discord message.
said wait until we get to House of Hades since that's going to be a lot of Persebeth it seems. So where
Yes.
this was like it was like all things considered
It was
relatively light.
crumbs.
It was crumbs. It was a moment here and there that like
Hmm.
was was just like mostly
Yeah.
just cute teenager PDA,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure
PG
how
rated
much you
PDA.
heard. Yeah, I'm not sure how much you heard while you yourself was responding to Grim, but I had said like there was also lots of moments in this where they kept being pulled away from each other, which culminates to that end part, which we will get into later.
Well. So for now, the Greeks get to be in New Rome for like point 0.5 seconds. And during
Yeah,
that time,
and
we find out a lot
yeah.
about like the treatment of Athena in Roman society.
Hmm.
How Minerva was not really considered a war goddess, and how Athena herself seems to not like that very much.
Yeah, more or less the situation with the Romans was ill. A woman as a war god? No, go back to weaving and crafting. By the way, don't look at this curtain. That's totally not Bellona or woman war goddess.
Don't look behind that curtain. Don't you dare. Basically, yeah. As a result, they kind of treat Annabeth as a bit of an anomaly. She mentions getting weird looks because I guess to them,
Aggressive, yet
I
of
guess to
Minerva.
them, seeing her is like as weird as seeing a Greek like child
It'd be
of
like seeing
Artemis or
Afro.
Hestia.
Yeah, oh, I was going to say it'd be kind of more like Aphrodite raising someone whose first instinct is, instead of charm or speak, would be to
You cut out. You cut out.
punch.
You cut out.
Ah, heck. It'd basically be like if Aphrodite's child came out like Clarice.
Yeah, kind of. But again, they did mention that Minerva was a virginal goddess. And
I forgot about that detail.
yeah, that was mostly why I mentioned Artemis and
Yeah.
Hestia in
Which
particular.
Yeah, which I remember we actually did talk about back
Mhm.
during, what was it, Sea of Monsters? I think it
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about her popping out
Yeah,
like a
yeah, she's
memory.
like a because Athena in Greek is a
Is virginal.
she's also virginal, but but yeah, it's a bit they get around it a
Honestly, I'm
bit.
willing to chalk it up to Rick forgot about it in the moment, so had to come up with an explanation later.
Like maybe forgot about it in book one and then remembered in book two.
Yeah, because I
Maybe
remember I also was thrown off of that a little, but I just
non-zero
decided,
chance.
yeah, but I just decided like, you know, I'll just set that aside. It's probably nothing.
Yeah, Rick Riordan forgetting something? No, he would never.
Rick forgot where the arch is.
He would never
Riordan
forget
forgot something.
anything. He's never forgotten anything in his life. And his
Oh yeah, where's Grover?
oh god. Grover doesn't matter anymore. Don't you know this? Don't you
See,
know this?
the funny thing is, I will bring it up whenever we get to that chapter. I literally have a note talking about how I forgot about Grover.
It's disappointing when you watch the Disney Plus show. You forget how much he actually did matter in those
He
early books.
he
You forget.
mattered so much in the early
You
books.
forget. Okay, so chapter 3.
Mhm.
Chapter 3 begins off what I will refer to as the Percy Jason bromance arc. An arc with many ups and downs, a lot of bumps, some earned, some not.
Mhm.
They start off as basically bromies, brosifs. You know, they are two
Brochacho.
they're two very powerful demigods who are both so protagonist coded that they find themselves on the same uh wavelength more or less.
Yeah,
But also like Percy and Thalia, they're pretty much destined to like not get along just by sheer force of like
similar
similar
personalities, similar
personality, yeah.
big personalities.
You know, well, saying Jason has a big personality is a bit of a stretch, but he is someone who's used to taking charge, and having two people in the room that are used to that is, uh,
Mhm.
bound for disaster.
Yeah.
Also, Ella's prophecy. This is an important one. Got to throw this one in. This is our little
All right.
Annabeth cul-de-sac.
Do you have it written down?
I
Because
have
I
it written
do.
down. I have it written
All
down.
right. Go on. You got this.
Wisdom's daughter walks alone. The mark of Athena burns through Rome. Twins snuff out the angel's breath, who holds the key to endless death. Giant's bane stands golden pale, won through pain from a woven jail.
For me, a separate note I also have is, oh fuck, Ella referenced Old Yeller. Please don't tell me someone's getting put down.
Old Yeller, what?
Yeah, and apparently Ella referenced Old Yeller
Like later?
in chapter 3. That's what my note is. Hold on, let me see
Okay.
if I can find the quote.
Yeah, what? Source?
Which is this? Source. This source. I made it the fuck up. I'll find it in a moment.
Okay.
All right, that's chapter 5. So this must be chapter 4. Then let me go back a little.
And while Annabeth kind of brushes it off because, it all sounds quite suspicious to the Romans, they're not really sure what to make of it,
Mhm,
nor are they that familiar with oracles and prophecy.
mhm.
Um,
Real
she,
quick, page 28. Large dogs are good, Ella said. Old Yeller, 1957. Screenplay by Fred Gibson and William Turnberg.
uh,
Or
well,
Tunberg.
Old Yeller does kind of come back in a different way later on, but we'll get there when we get there.
Fuck!
No, I mean within this book, you read it,
I did indeed read it.
yeah, the dog, you remember that, you remember that,
Yeah.
you remember that,
Uh,
yeah. I wanted that to be
it
ominous for
took
our
me.
audience. I want that to be ominous.
It took a moment.
Okay.
What were you saying before?
So despite how Annabeth kind of brushes it off, since the Romans aren't really all that familiar with prophecy and would find it inherently suspicious, which Octavian does anyway,
Yeah.
she also mentions having something called a mark of Athena in her pocket. Something that I literally wasn't sure if she'd mentioned before, but later on I think they do confirm that no, she did not have this before, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. For me, I also had a similar thought to that.
Mm-hmm. And her section ends with Leo.
Gaslighting people.
I mean, yes, that, but
Remember,
also like
yeah,
Leo literally firing missiles upon Rome.
it's fine. He's just a little guy.
He's just a
He's
little
just a
guy.
little
I mean, like
guy.
literally, my first assumption when it's like, oh gosh, chaos, chaos. The Argo 2 is firing down on New Rome.
I
Everyone
immediately blamed
attack. Yeah,
Octavian.
my first well, I was like, oh that rat bastard Octavian got into the cockpit and started firing. Yeah,
Yeah, that was my immediate assumption.
that's not it,
No,
but
yeah. It turns out Mars himself had actually come to Leo and said, "Hey, this will be a funny prank."
not that either. But
Yeah, you're right. It was Loki disguised as Mars.
don't joke. Loki's a character. Don't fucking make jokes. Anyway.
I swear, if Loki ever convinces someone to fire upon another person, I am going to DM you the second I read that.
God, I hope so. If you remember, it's gonna be like
Yeah,
3 months from now.
but
Magnus
Leo
Chase
POV.
coming soon. Leo POV. So, chapter 5, like literally my poor baby. Everyone is so suspicious of him because of that. They're all yelling at him. Even Percy yells at him. And I know Percy doesn't know him, but that's my boy. That's my son. Percy, please. I don't want my two
How
sons
dare,
fighting.
how dare, he's just a boy. Look at him.
He's just a sweet little guy. Be nice to
Speak
him.
Speaking of sweet little guy and be nice to him, a note I have is, dang it, Leo, don't thirst after another girl. I forgot that was part of you.
He does, so he does kind of he gets a bit of a crush on Hazel upon first seeing her, which immediately puts him at odds with Frank. Frank, with Frank it's basically like on site with Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because of the whole Sammy thing. Hazel's being kind of weird about Leo as well. And that leads to
And
some
this is
interesting
before he
friction.
even learns. Yeah, and this is before he learns Leo can shoot fire.
Yeah, so an interesting thing with that whole conflict, right, is that you get the sense that it was supposed to feel more one-sided, more two-sided. I mean, it feels more one-sided, but
Uh,
you get the sense
it
it was
seems
supposed
like,
to. Yeah, you know what I meant. It feels
yeah,
one-sided. You get the sense that it was supposed to be a bit more two-sided because,
a
like,
bit more of a push and pull, but it's just
yeah,
Frank bullying our poor boy, our poor seventh wheel.
it feels more like Leo's making snarky jokes that might be annoying to the wrong person, and Frank is being just mean.
Yeah, Leo is just going to say a casual line, and then Frank's like, well, why don't you be quiet?
And Frank like gets very very angry at him. Uh
Being near Hazel.
yeah. In the meantime, we're just kind of like, well, this is just kind of Leo being himself. It's the thing. Because we're used, right? I think that's the issue of like we as readers are a little too close to it. Yeah, we're used to him being like that. Is it just the first time we've met someone who does not tolerate it?
I suppose something else to keep in mind is he's also a part of the "yo, what the fuck? Why'd you fire at Rome?" crowd.
He's definitely suspicious about that, but I will say this mostly just has the effect of, and this was a thing too in the fandom, of not liking Frank terribly much for this book.
It's character assassination. He's supposed to
It
be a
is.
big sweetie.
It really is. It really is. This
He's
like
supposed to hide behind Hazel unless if it's a do or die situation.
this book alone kind of rotted his reputation and like amongst a lot of the fans, and I think that's not very fair because again I think I can see what Rick was going for, you know.
Yeah. If
But
anything, I feel like
yeah,
what Rick probably wanted to do was a guy fed up with his annoying little brother.
but it comes across instead as very mean, and I think he also underestimated how likable of a character he made in Leo because like also I think that's also a part of it. I think he just doesn't
He doesn't
realize
know
how
the powers of
charming.
the Sass Master.
Yeah, he's such a charming guy with such endless riz. As we find
Oh
out,
god, the Riz.
that's a
The
good.
Riz.
That's a good
Mm.
segue into this next section. Yeah. So
So, Narcissus.
yeah, so after the whole issue with the Argo 2, they have to repair the ship by going on some fetch quests for some items. Leo and Hazel have to go pick up some minerals and especially some celestial bronze, right?
Mm.
So they're
Yeah.
led by Fortuna. No, they're led by Nemesis.
Tish.
The They're led by Nemesis, who has a bone to pick with Fortuna.
Tish.
Tish, Fortuna, she, Fortuna.
Funny enough, Nemesis is the one's like, I honestly don't care if I'm Greek or Roman.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the same thing. Everyone wants revenge.
Also, considering our shirts, it's funny that I'm the one insisting on Fortuna. Anyway, um, Nemesis basically points them in the direction of Narcissus. They say he
yeah.
has,
Oh,
yeah.
important plot thing too.
Mhm.
She's like, "Damn, bro, you're kind of the seventh wheel. Doesn't that get you angry? Here's a fortune cookie. Call me when you need it."
Oh yeah. So funny note, right? So amongst the seven, basically all of them have paired off into like romantic pairings, right? Frank Hazel, Annabeth Percy, Piper Jason. Leo is the odd one out in that. He has no romantic prospects in this because let's be honest, he never had a chance with Hazel. Like we all know that.
No. The only way he has a chance with Hazel is if something happens to Frank and then she starts to drink.
Basically. But
I'm
anyway,
not wrong.
you're not. You're really, really not. People actually will theorize as far as like who. I've seen the like Leo has had a crush on Jason theory come around every so often. It's made its like
I'm
returns
willing. Yeah,
periodically.
I'm honestly willing to believe that Leo would just have a crush on everyone.
And cut off again.
Oh, I just said I'm honestly willing to believe that Leo would have a crush on everyone. He just seems like that kind of desperate.
He has desperate bisexual energy for
Yeah.
sure. It's not until we would meet Lester that would we get a character who
It's
really embodies
true
that
desperate
though.
bisexual.
It's a good archetype. It's a good archetype. Slutty bisexual? No, 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 no. Bisexual who absolutely cannot get it in and who just is like sad and pathetic.
Like the type where if shown affection, they will immediately conflate it to, well, this is clearly romantic feelings I'm
It's like,
feeling
oh,
towards this
I'm in
person.
love now. Yes.
Exactly.
So you need that's closer to the truth. Let's be real.
Jason held the door open for Leo one time and he's just like, I will always be by your side.
Leo
Are
imagines
you
their
okay?
wedding, just
No.
like oh geez, oh no. Okay, so first off, you also find out around this time that Hera's in trouble with the rest of the gods due to her little gambit here of putting this whole quest into motion. They don't
Mhm.
like her very much, but it also seems to be a gambit that is paying off is a strong word, but it's something's happening at least. Better than nothing happening, I
Things are
suppose.
progressing.
Things are progressing in some pretty bad ways, considering that by the time we get halfway through this section, it's pretty obvious that the Romans are going to be storming Camp Half Blood any second. And they're like a very well organized legion versus Camp Half Blood's group of 12-year-old 12-year-old like fucking Ren Fair reenactors basically.
I'm gonna be honest, I had no faith in Camp Half-Blood surviving until, I'm just gonna say this now because it's like a throwaway
Mhm.
line, until Tyson was saying like, oh yeah, we got to Camp Half-Blood. I'm willing to call up some Cyclopses to be able to help protect it. It's like,
They'd
oh
be the
okay,
only
maybe they'll actually
reasons.
stand a
They'd
chance.
be the only reasons they would stand a chance, because at least the Romans seem to, have a
Fight in formation, good weaponry,
yeah, yeah.
tactics.
They have an age range that's older than like 10 to 15 generally. I mean, there were definitely a lot of 13-year-olds still in their core.
Mhm.
Jason was brought on when he was 7, but they also have like a college campus there. So presumably there's like at least one adult in the Legion. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows, honestly. Maybe it's child soldiers all the way down. Who knows?
Well, I didn't hear most of that because my internet cut for a second. All I
What
heard
is
was,
up with your
well, maybe
connection?
it's.
What is
I
up with your
don't know.
connection, brother? You're
My
coming.
guess is someone in the house is streaming something.
Okay. We're just gonna continue on then.
I
Okay.
just heard child soldiers and I'm like, yep, no, that's more or less the Greeks and probably the
We're
Romans.
gonna press on then. So they come across Narcissus, who is here because of the Doors of Death. He's not a minor god or anything, just Random mortal. How familiar are you with the story of Narcissus and Echo?
I'm so familiar with it. I actually had played Narcissus in school thing.
That's what
The
actually.
version, yeah.
Okay.
Not like a school play. Basically, the project was like, all right, you break off into groups. You're just gonna shoot a small video
Yeah.
of reenacting a Greek play. And I played Narcissus. One line I had, I remember this because I got docked points on it, was by the way, the version we were doing was drowning in the reflection,
Okay.
literal drowning.
Mm.
The line I had said was something along the lines of, "Oop, that's a bot. Kill it." Was something along the lines of, "I must go into the beautiful reflection of this man." Wait, does that make me gay? Fuck it. Goes in. I got docked points on that.
You actually. I'm surprised you said that.
Why are you surprised? The fucking part or the other part?
Whatever. Anyway, then then then
The
then
thing
then then,
is,
then fuck it. You wait no. Is this anecdote not over? Continue.
uh, the end of that anecdote is we got marked points down for that of
Okay.
saying that's an inappropriate line. The full quote was given, so I don't know if it was the fuck it part or the gay joke part. Never gonna know. All right, that's end of anecdote.
Explain the story of Narcissus explain the story of Narcissus and Echo then.
Narcissus.
Narcissus and Echo.
Alright, so basically, Narcissus, he's the shit. Every girl loves him for some reason, even though
Mm-hmm.
he's vain, doesn't really care about them. Honestly, to him, girls are just dime a dozen, and one dime a dozen dame that he had dated, yes, I tried to alliterate there,
Mm-hmm.
was Echo. Echo apparently was also cursed by Hera because she had the book had said something, but I oh, what was it? Did it say? Shut up, Echo. So I'm unplugging that. Give me a
Yeah, you
second.
probably because we're gonna say the words echo a lot.
All right, I unplugged it. I forgot what
Okay.
the book said of why Echo was cursed. Oh wait, I remember it. By remember, I mean I looked at my notes.
Okay.
It said, they confirmed it was Hera who had done this to shut Echo up. But from what I remember of the story being was Echo was distracting Hera by talking to her while Zeus went out to go cheat or whatever.
Uh.
That's the story that I
So it's
remember, so I
Zeus's
could be
fault.
wrong.
So it's Zeus's fault. Yes.
I mean, if Zeus says, "Hey, do this for me," you're gonna do it, even if it means lying or distracting Hera.
All goddamn things in these stories are either Zeus or Poseidon's fault. That's what I'm finding out.
More or less.
Yeah.
But because of that, she was cursed to say only the last thing she heard, which is where we get the story of Echoes. Well, technically not quite yet, because Narcissus came across a pond. And through that pond, he basically was going to be trapped there staring at his reflection until, well, he died. The other bit of the story I remember was Echo, who was trying to stay by his side throughout that whole time until eventually her own body faded away, and then she just became the Echo that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like literal echoes.
Yes.
I remember Nemesis fit into this somewhere. I don't remember if she killed Narcissus or she's the one who made the mirror, or not the mirror, the lake for him to stare in. I don't remember.
Also, typically narcissist, right? So first off, you have the word narcissist. That's the origin of it. But also the
Hmm.
narcissus flower. In some versions of the myth, he doesn't just drown, but he like also dies there and becomes a flower or like a flower sprout. Greek myths are funny, and that there's always like five different versions of the one myth because it's really just like people passing on stories and only kind of remembering what the actual
Yeah.
details of them are. Riordan goes off of a certain collection from what I understand. He's been on interviews to even show off the book, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Hmm.
But yeah, over here there's a bronze shield. Uh to bring it back, Leo and Hazel gotta go nab it. But this is pretty difficult because Narcissus is a bit of a shit. So are all his fangirls. They don't really want to let him through. He won't give up that bronze shield for anything, not even a different mirror. So
Because this one just catches the light so good.
Leo has to come up with a plan. He has to come up with a really, really funny plan. So he comes out and basically his best idea of what like a bad boy looks like, right? He like puts like machine oil grease in his hair to slick it back. He has like his arm, he has like his like shirt rolled up,
Sharpie,
like Sharpie tattoos on his arms.
bad
His
boy.
twig arms. His fucking twig arms. Like he starts roasting Narcissus like he's watched a little too much Saturday Night Live. And like it's quite bad.
Oh, a quote that I do vaguely remember, so this is paraphrased, is him saying scrawny is now in, and I'm the scrawniest.
Also there's a line here too where Nemesis so Nemesis thought that, so before the quest even starts, Nemesis mentions that Leo could learn something from the couple. At first he assumes that he could learn something from Narcissus, but the two of them honestly aren't all that similar, even though he literally does Narcissus's shtick back at him in order to yoink the shield. They yoink it by like Hazel, doing her
Metal
metal
stuff, yeah.
powers. The thing is, though, what he actually finds out is that that it's Echo he has something to learn from, being the invisible but very persistent help, the seventh wheel, the one that will never really get his
Fade
time
away.
who will fade away, never get his time in the spotlight, but whose role here is invaluable. Also, I put in there like in parentheses, also has an unrequited crush on a stupid handsome man, and it is in my opinion that through that parallel alone you could almost take that as crumbs for that theory that Leo has a crush on Jason. There's like the lightest implication that that could be a part of what they mean here. I do not know if that's even intentional though. Hard to know at this stage. I know Riordan became pretty free with writing like gay relationships like in the future, even just within like Magnus Chase, which is coming up very soon. But at this stage, not sure. I couldn't tell you if that was intentionally put in, if that was something he thought to do. But I definitely raised an eyebrow and put in like did my little like word in the margin like gay question mark. I'm kidding. I don't mark up my books.
No, they're too precious for that.
They're too precious. I'm here telling Luck about my saga having to reorder a book just so I could get a book jacket. I take my book collection seriously. Okay. Next section is Piper, right?
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, my notes were rather sparse here.
I don't think either of us cared for the Piper POV because as annoying as Leo and Frank's rivalry could be, Piper and Jason's romance has like nothing to it. Has nothing to it. And as it got to the end of the book, I more and more started to suspect that it's going to crash and burn. Right? Like that was my assumption. That's my assumption now, that it's gonna crash and burn. That it's not that they're gonna break. Like,
so what you're telling me is Leo has a chance? I'm kidding.
No. No, what I'm telling you is that Piper at one point openly discusses, or not, well, in her own head, in her POV, she openly, she considers the fact that essentially she is still Aphrodite's plaything, and that her relationship with Jason is, they were pushed together because Aphrodite and Hera wanted them to be, not because of anything that organically started between them. And how nervous she seems about the relationship, to me reads as, okay, either they're going to have to actually figure out a way to spark a genuine connection between each other, or they're going to be broken up by the time we're done with this series.
Fair. And I know something else that she brought up later on was like, oh, am I just gonna be like forgotten about? Because like my story's over. Like I got the guy. That's it. That's the whole end of thing.
She doesn't
Is Aphrodite? Hmm?
she doesn't seem to be sure where she's going next.
Yeah.
And I almost view that as like, I wonder if that's the author wheel spinning a bit, because I also think he doesn't know where she's going and where she's going next, what's happening with her.
Yeah, literally, it had said something along the lines of like, yeah, Aphrodite was saying, oh, like, oh yeah, there's like so much juicy stuff going on with Persebeth. Like, my stuff is boring, bro.
But
I may or may not be paraphrasing, but sorry, go on.
also, this is the she observes a bit of the Percy Jason bromance breakdown here, as they're at a table, right? And there's the head of the table. Both him and Jason attempt to sit at the head of the table at the exact same time and kind of do like a little like what bro move when they realize this. And it essentially starts like, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand male relationships well enough, but it felt like like it was dick measuring from here on out, essentially, and that never really let up.
That happens sometimes. Some people say it's healthy, other people say it's annoying. Personally, I'm of the camp of it can be more annoying.
I was with Piper, and I was mostly annoyed by it. There were times where I found it charming, and then other times where I felt like it wore on me real fast. I found myself glad that they didn't actually pair the two of them together all that much.
Ooh, something that I do want to bring up that was funny from Piper's POV was Piper was saying how, oh yeah, Percy, he's kind of average. I guess I could see what Annabeth sees in him when he takes leadership positions, but he's not all that. Meanwhile, in Annabeth's POV, when she first saw Percy back, she was immediately gushing over him.
I
Like, hold on. Okay.
I do love all the different POVs around Percy's character. Right, I had mentioned before that like one of the most fun things about these books is that you get to see him from other point of views. How much of like a little shit he is, a little sociopath in some ways,
Yeah,
and
real
also
quick.
just like how stupid he is.
Yeah, real quick, can I read what Annabeth was narrating as she saw Percy?
Sure.
Percy smiled at her, that sarcastic troublemaker smile that had annoyed her for years but eventually had become endearing. His sea green eyes were as gorgeous as she remembered. His dark hair was swept to one side like he'd just come from a walk on the beach. He looked even better than he had 6 months ago, tanner and taller, leaner and more muscular. Then it says, Annabeth was too stunned to move. She felt that if she got any closer to him, all the molecules in her body might combust.
It is funny.
So,
Percy is like is described as a couple different things in this. You know, like mostly like a pretty boy, bit of a skater boy, bit of a surfer boy, right? That like lean, like kind of fashionable, athletic kind of look to him.
yeah,
That's funny.
it's just, I definitely adored that difference between Annabeth's complete head over heels and Piper's like, it's alright.
He's like, he's all right, and then oh my god, he's going to get himself or all of us killed.
I like those different moments where they're just like, wait, Percy, you did what?
So they Piper and Piper, him and Jason meet Bacchus this time,
Yeah,
not Dionysus, Bacchus.
he likes Pepsi.
He likes Diet Pepsi instead of Diet Coke. How scandalous. Also how
And he's
incorrect.
skinny?
Um yeah, he's skinny, he's younger, longer hair, a bit more handsome. Um and a bit chiller, honestly. Less drunk dad and more like surprisingly chill frat boy.
Yeah.
Frat boy that has his shit together and won't like try and fist fight you by saying the like if you say the wrong thing to him.
Weird to see a Roman version more tame than a Greek.
Yeah, a bit, but I guess it depends on the god, huh? They tend to they tend to err more on the militant, but you also have to remember that Mars versus Ares, right? Mars seemed to be a bit chiller, had a bit more of a good decent head on his shoulders, where Ares was very chaotic,
Yeah,
questionable
probably had something to
loyalties. for
Yeah,
sure.
probably had something to do with the fact that the Romans also viewed war as a discipline instead of bloodlust,
Hmm.
which probably helps the depictions.
It does. It does. But Percy like starts mouthing off to Bacchus, and
Immediately.
Piper just like looks at him like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck, brother? Oh my god!" Like I think literally her first thought is like, "Oh god, Annabeth isn't here to stop him. He's going to die and take us down with him. What do we do? What do we do?"
Yeah, he even threatened to turn people into a dolphin. Is like, man, you ain't gonna do shit.
It's insane. It's really funny considering
There
their
is a
history,
re-
but it is insane from to an outsider's perspective.
there is a reason why I keep calling him Percy. The audacity of this bitch Jackson.
There's a reason. There's a good reason. Before we get into the next bit, because my final note on this chapter is really, really funny. I want to talk a little bit more about the whole like I don't know this kind of style of like character drama. It was a thing that honestly this is a pretty contemporary reference too, especially considering we're gonna be hint hint
Hmm.
nudge nudge doing some weekly Marvel movie streams relatively soon. Some movie discussion streams. It kind of
I'm finally going to get to see Morbius.
reminds me the most of like how they would do friendships sometimes in some of those Marvel movies, especially like the Avengers,
Hmm.
where fighting and bickering and then being able to put aside your differences is treated as the same thing as like a developing friendship. And I don't think that's terribly good writing in my opinion. It's really not my favorite way to do relationships. I like not that I'm against the idea of like a group of
A
friends that
banter
start
friendship.
off or no, not even like even bantering, but just like a group of friends that start off a little rocky that have to figure their shit out or yeah, heavy banter, but I think that like you can't replace that with actually just developing a dynamic, you know? Or I mean, you can't replace like actually developing a dynamic with banter and with arguing. You can't replace actually putting in the work of making a friendship believable with just banter and arguing. So I think that was the first time where I'm like, oh no, this book is starting to frustrate me a little bit. It's starting to do that thing I
It's doing
really
a
don't like. It's
Marvelism.
doing a Marvelism where, you got to bring together this unlikely group of heroes and they're going to fight a lot and they're not going to get along. But then, and I'm like, well, that's fine, I guess. But I kind of wanted to see what they were going to be like as friends. And I don't think we've seen that yet. Even by the end of the book, I don't think we really saw
Not
that yet.
particularly.
Yeah, so it's like,
And we're definitely, set a spoiler.
hmm. So yeah, I guess I gotta hold my judgment for a little long. We still got like two more books left, so maybe we'll get more
Hmm.
to that place by the time we're at the end of that. But yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of
Not
which, this
feeling that
all
yet with the male
culmin.
male friendships.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this all culminates in them trying to kill each other for some reason.
It does, it does. So Percy and Jason are brainwashed by Gaia. We find out that there are these spirits called Eidolons, haha, stray gods reference. Um
Haha.
or
You beat me to
eidolons,
it.
and they possess them, and the son of Poseidon and son of Jupiter have to duke it out. It's power scaling time, baby.
In the end, no one got power scaled. Piper said, "Charm, speak, knock it off," and they're
Charm
like,
speak,
"Okay."
knock it the fuck off. There are times where both or either of them look like they're going to win, and then the other one ends up disarming them, and they go back and forth again until it's clear that they're
There
in
is
deadlock.
there is no clear cut.
There is a deliberate attempt to not power
If I
scale
were
them
to
in the
put
end.
if I were to power scale, however, I would give it to Percy. I think he has much more impressive feats.
I'm willing to bet that actually. So here's my bet. Here's my unprofessional opinion. Especially
Yes.
someone who does not particularly like power scaling. My suspicion is that maybe Jason is supposed to be the more powerful one a little bit, but that because Percy is the main character, you can't say that. That's my suspicion.
Yeah, no, fair, fair.
I feel like it was
Considering
the
the
other way
son of
around. They would have
Jupiter.
just confirmed.
Hmm.
So that's my suspicion. But that's just me. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day because they're supposed to work together. I assume we're probably not going to get much
Listen,
of them fighting
listen.
each other.
We know the true winner of this. Buggy. They both use swords. Buggy can't be killed by a sword. Buggy outscales them.
Buggy D Clown. My man's coming up. He's gonna find the One Piece. I have the frames to prove it.
I love the Buggy power scale thing.
Buggy D Clown could defeat Mihawk if he locked the fuck in. ignore what happened.
Ignore
Ignore what happened in the
canon.
Cross Guild. Ignore how Mihawk like. Ignore how
It wasn't fair.
Mihawk
It wasn't
beat
a
the shit out of him.
one-on-one.
Ignore that time the crocodile pegged him. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
he wanted to be in that position. Listen. We all know Oda isn't a trustable source.
We all know. Okay, let's stop pretending that you read One Piece and let's move on.
Yeah, you're right. I just listened to it.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Piper did an exorcism on them or something, and Leo was like, "Ah, so that's what happened."
A triple
I
exorcism because he
did.
also takes the one out of Leo.
Yeah, Leo was just like, "Oh, so I didn't actually shoot upon them." Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, also the Romans stole something valuable to the Greeks,
Yeah.
because of that.
Before that, I have a very important note. A very important note. So after the
Okay, okay.
Eidolons get taken out of our three boys, they all pass out, right? So like Annabeth catches Percy, yes, and then Piper
Yeah.
catches Jason, and Leo falls flat on his face on the floor. I think they even mentioned that Frank like moves out of the way, like not. That was so mean.
Wait, Frank
That
moved
was
out of the way.
so
I didn't.
unbelievably mean.
I didn't have a note
on
of
every
that one.
on like was so unbelievably mean on Rick's part. I was taken aback. I had to make a note of it, just being like, "Oh my
Holy shit.
god!"
Wait, I forgot. I don't remember Frank moving out. I need to look at this.
I feel like double check to confirm. I might be committing slander here.
Mhm.
Frank doesn't need more slander.
Yeah. Okay, they slumped forward. Percy fell into pizza. All right. Piper and Hazel caught Jason's arms. Leo wasn't lucky. He fell towards Frank, who made no attempt to intercept him. Leo hit the floor.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I not register that? So funny.
Really funny, and it's really mean. So
Both Piper and Hazel catch Jason. Percy falls into pizza, and then Annabeth grabs him. And then Frank's like, I'm not helping you. Even though Leo is such a little guy and Frank's so big.
Such a little guy. It was so mean. It was honestly, it's not even that was mean coming from Frank. That was mean coming from Rick. That like brother, you didn't have to do that. Oh my god. But yeah, so anyway, the artifact. Yeah, they're looking
Oops, I think I'm being summoned.
Okay, I'll explain I'll explain the artifact. So according to Jason, some artifact, no one knows what, was stolen by the Romans, and the children of Athena are sent to look for it every so often, being led by the Mark of Athena, the coin that Athena gives Annabeth, which is like a silver drachma, something that was special to Athens back in the day, apparently. No one has succeeded in this quest, and by that, you should take that to mean no one has survived it. No one has even come back alive from the quest. Jason was also told that if the Greeks ever found the artifact, they would never be able to forgive the Romans, and war would be inevitable. Though even that is kind of put into question relatively early on, because Piper makes a note of saying that like, oh, you have Roman and Greek demigods here discussing this lost artifact without a hint of enmity. They are very they're able to come together in this moment without, too much overt conflict, at least aside from the interpersonal. It all seems to be working out. So far, anyway. Honestly, that alone kind of reminds me of I wonder if Rick's almost evoking Star Trek a little bit with this. Like, I don't know, a bunch of people from different backgrounds on a ship with maybe a little bit of interpersonal drama thrown around for spice. Though famously Gene Roddenberry with like the original series and as well as like the first season or so of the Next Generation did not really like interpersonal drama, but that got like baked into the
Mhm.
formula afterwards. But yeah,
I see.
I wonder if he's evoking that a little bit here with the whole like they're all in a ship together, they're all traveling for the shared goal. It's all about optimism, but also, you know,
It's all about the journey.
yeah. Anyway, um what else do we got here? Oh yeah. Confirmation at this chapter. Reina and Jason were never actually a thing, and I have not decided yet whether that's a retcon or whether that was always intended. My assumption was
I
that they
personally
were.
chalk it up to the mist.
My assumption is that's a retcon at this point. I think I'm leaning
Mhm.
towards that because I could have sworn that that was just what we were supposed to assume for a while. Yeah, so
I
I
think
assume that they made it.
I think the retcon
Yeah.
was that Reina liked Jason, but that was about it.
No, Reina always liked him. That was obvious from beginning.
I mean, it was just like not ever together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm saying I could have sworn that we were supposed to believe that they were together for a while, and I wonder if they didn't like reverse that for the sake of making it less complicated with Piper and Jason. You know, so it wasn't like a love triangle thing, and it wasn't like Jason was low-key cheating on his current girlfriend by being with Piper.
Yeah.
It's my assumption.
What? How would you hypothetically solve a situation like that? You get amnesia, get a girlfriend, and then you're like, get your memories back, and like, oh shit, I had another girlfriend.
What, like me
What do you
personally,
do?
or
Do you break up
like from a writing standpoint?
you personally?
Me
Because
personally,
for me, I think I would be like, hey, new girlfriend, I probably would have liked you, but apparently I still have this.
I would say
Breaking up with you, going back to the OG.
hey, new girlfriend. This is what I expect to happen again. Hey, new girlfriend. We're literally only together because the goddess of love told us we should be for her fan fiction. Maybe this is a bad idea.
I forgot that was also a key part of it. I was more thinking in terms of like an abstract situation.
Also, Reina's bad as hell. She's way better.
The former Cersei person,
Why the fuck did those two stupid men reject Reina? I mean, for Annabeth, yes, I get it, but like,
yeah, Percy we get.
Jason, I mean, listen, Piper's fine. She's a nice girl. She's very pretty. She is really interesting, I think. I like her POV in The Lost Hero. She's not Reina. She's not Reina. She's not Reina. I don't mean to pit two bad bitches against each other. That's my fault. That's my fault, right? That's my character flaw.
Listen,
But
she has dogs.
I'm getting a little offended on Reina's behalf at this point. In my I am, and I can't hide that. And also, yeah, Piper and Jason are only together because of
Her mom's a shipper.
Aphrodite's fan fiction, basically. So it's a bad idea for a relationship.
I still kind of like that characterization of Aphrodite, of her just being a useless shipper. I love it. That's me for real, for real.
It is fun, and that's, if anything, why I am more convinced that, like, oh, this ship's gonna crash and burn. Got it. Right? Because, like, that story can't come full circle and that ship happens in a healthy, reasonable way. Not unless they, like, either intentionally try and break away from that, or they just, you know, decide this relationship is a bad idea.
I got the perfect solution. You talk to Eros and say, hey, tell your mom to knock it off. We're gonna go to couples therapy. Perfect solution.
Eros in the books is no. He's so shitty.
No.
He's so shitty in the books. I've heard everything. I have every reason to believe that he is a very bad person in these books.
Damn it, I was thinking Stray Gods Arrows.
Stray Gods Arrows is such a sweetie. Percy Jackson Arrows is like the worst from what I understand.
I should do a Stray Gods run after the two that I'm currently doing, the one with you, one with me.
Nice.
Where I go for an Arrows run. He's great.
He's great. He's not a romance option.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, no, he's not. You
That's
get
depressing.
Eros is like so obviously a gay man in that. I feel like
Oh, that's right. We are a woman. I
yeah,
kind of forgot about that.
I feel like that's a little obvious. Um
Why is it that I forgot the fact we play a woman instead
yeah,
of?
yeah, you play Laura Bailey.
I forgot these things.
Okay, back on track, back on track. So we're in the Percy POV. Percy POV.
Percy has a fear of suffocation. Good.
Yeah,
Traumatize the child.
he's
That is
fine.
what my
He's
note
doing
says.
fine. My note is he's fine, period. He's doing fine, smiley face.
I still love the fact
Yeah.
mine says good. Traumatize the child.
Yeah, so he almost drowned in Son of Neptune after getting like sucked into that sinkhole basically in Alaska. And yeah, now as a Son of Neptune, he never had to experience or fear drowning before. And now he's like, "Oh, new fear unlocked. Got it. That's horrible.
You know,
Thank you for that."
hypothetically, if he ever gets into a fight with Jason, do you think Jason could just like airbend a vacuum around him?
What, like suffocate him?
Yes.
Well, only if Percy gets to bloodbend him back. if you're gonna be like that.
I'm only saying it because of inflicting trauma. Until Jason gets a trauma of being puppeted, then we'll see.
Okay. Also him and Annabeth have a tender moment right after where they talk about visions, and he basically like proposes on the spot. Like this is the one moment that I was like, "Oh, Percabeth, yay, yay."
It was super cute, I'll be honest. He
Very
was
cute.
literally talking about like, I don't really mind the smell of stables. It reminds me of the time back when we were in that zoo truck.
And then he's talking about, "Oh, we should settle down together in New Rome. You'd like it there. We should check it out when all this like dies down." And I'm just like,
Yeah, I think Annabelle was like, they want to kill us, right? He's like, we'll figure it out.
"We'll figure it out." I believe him. She does too, kind of. Oh, it's great. I'm sure nothing bad'll happen to them by the end of this book. I'm sure they'll be okay. I'm
I'm
sure.
sure they'll be perfectly fine and heading to New Rome with the wedding rings.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure everything will be okay with you. Anyway, next chapter.
Speaking of
Yeah,
suffocating, Nico.
Nico. So, wait, but we have with the right now. Okay, yeah, yeah. So they're discovered by Frank, and then the Coach Hedge gets all uppity about like, no canoodling around here. I hope that accent was correct.
It works. It's better than what I would do, but his accent is whatever's funny and close to Danny
Mhm.
DeVito.
So the twin giants have Nico. No, Nico put himself in a stasis. They have captured him, and so he's put himself in a state to hopefully keep himself from dying quite so fast. Something special that I guess only the children of Hades can do.
Pomegranate seeds.
Pomegranate seeds, and also a death trance. Combination of the two. Slowed down all of his vitals and is using essentially the pomegranate seeds as emergency rations to keep himself going. He has 5, one for
He
each
only
day,
has. Yes.
which puts them at a very tight schedule considering they need to cross the Atlantic. Usually takes
would also
longer
like
than
to-
that to do.
I would also like to add a note. Hazel calls Persephone's stepmother. I thought that was cute.
That was cute, a little horrifying. Cute though.
Yes.
Horrifying in a, "Oh, I'm sorry" kind of way. Wow, your families are complicated. I'm so sorry.
Why is my dog knocking?
I don't know. Anyway, Nico is a Disney princess, as we've established. Next chapter, the boys go to Georgia Aquarium. By the boys, I mean Frank and Percy and Hedge. And now that we got Frank away from Leo for a little bit, he gets to be charismatic again. Thank God. Oh no, you had to go. Where are you? You left me here. I'm gonna continue. So Hedge tries to regale Frank on a tale of the famous son of Ares general in the American Civil War that fought on the very hill that they were dropped off on. They're in like Georgia, so I don't know. I don't remember exactly which general or which hill, but
I know that Sherman's march through Georgia was infamous and supposedly bloody. I say good, fucking traitors.
I say it's fucking funny because Frank reminds him that he's 1, a son of Mars, and 2, Canadian. So he does not care even a little.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was just like, hey, Civil War facts.
It's like,
I don't care.
you use like the American Civil War? What? It's very funny.
Oh
So
wait, oh, what chapter was it where Hazel had said like, wait, they fought for the South? I
later,
kind of don't like that.
later,
Okay,
because I definitely made a note of that. Yeah, that's later. That's chapter 17. Soon.
okay. Oh, something I did like was
Mhm.
Percy wanted Frank with him, and Frank was like, why?
It's like,
Oh, excuse me.
why?
Because I'm a dragon? Is that why? Like, come on, dude. That's kind of tiring. It's like, no, you have Poseidon blood in you. We chill. Like, oh,
It's like, no, because you're my
I bet.
cousin. It's like, oh, sweetie. Okay.
Again, some of the scraps of charisma coming back to Frank, separated from Leo.
I'm so glad. I'm so fucking thankful. Oh my god, my boy here has been struggling.
His development,
He
his
is.
character.
I will say at the very least that in now that people have had some distance from this, I've seen more and more people coming back around and saying that like, no, Frank is really cool. He's the best actually. Don't be mean to Frank or I will cry.
To
And I'm
just
glad for that.
ignore his writing in this book, or
Just
maybe two.
ignore it. Just it was a blip. Don't worry about it. Okay, so when they go to the Georgia Aquarium and we meet two gods there. Forces
Forces
and
and
Keto, or Keto, I think is
yes.
literally the pronunciation.
Oh, I was saying keto.
I'm almost certain it's actually Keto.
The diet?
No, because
Okay, sorry, I had to make the joke.
it's like Keto, like Lido. Sometimes it's Leto. Fuck, whatever. I don't know. Greek pronunciation. Who gives a shit?
Kate.
Kate. We're gonna call her Kate, the oldest sea god in existence, and Kate, the goddess of sea monsters, who is portrayed as like a 20-something like nerd with like huge glasses who just babbles on and on about sea monsters. And
Honestly, if
I
she
loved her
wasn't
so much
evil,
immediately.
yeah, if she wasn't evil, heck, evil is negotiable in my books. I'd be down.
She seems so sweet, and I loved her so much. I was so
Yeah.
I like the Percy's there, like I'm suspicious, and I'm just there like, she seems chill. What's the I would die. I guess I would die in this situation.
I
That's what I found
absolutely
out.
would die. I think the only things I would really think is like, damn, you guys can't keep some of these creatures in better conditions. Look at those Nereids. They're lacking enrichment. That basically be the extent of things. Because like,
Yeah, that was
I
the one
like
thing that depressed
aquariums.
me.
I like fun facts.
The main the all, it was all the animal rights abuses that I didn't like.
Yeah.
That was a turn
Come on,
off.
if you make some of the tanks bigger, you're sea gods for crying out loud.
Shouldn't be
Give
tanks at
them
all.
enrichment.
Having you seen Blackfish? They shouldn't be in tanks at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're right. You're right, but at the same time, they're sea gods. I feel like they can work something.
They could definitely make like a TARDIS like bigger on the inside than it is on the
Yes.
outside fish tank if they wanted to. They just
Heck, even
aren't.
they aren't. Heck, they're purposely using sedatives.
Yeah, that was dark. That was
That
dark.
that was that was dark in a way where I could actually imagine reading that as a headline for like a regular aquarium.
Yeah. If anything, I wonder if Rick did get it from an actual headline. But so
I would not doubt it.
we find out, or I think we already kind of knew this, but we get a reminder that each giant was made as the bane of a certain god. The twins are the bane of,
Mhm.
of Dionysus, who are obsessed with beating him at his own game, flashy revelry.
They
Um,
kind of suck at it.
they're really bad at it. Chapter 16, my first note is, see, this is why Annabeth couldn't come, because if she was there, she would have spotted the deception from a mile away, and they never would have gotten trapped in the tank, and there would have been no tension whatsoever, because she would have been like, we're leaving, guys.
She absolutely would have been like, "Hey, so don't go into the tank. That's definitely Seto, and that's definitely
Kate.
forces." Hmm?
Kate. I said Kate.
Kate, yeah, but Kate is definitely Kate. But yeah, she'd sniff out that trap. the only reason they got out was because Coach Hedge was being distracted and he didn't fall into the trap too.
Luckily, they don't drown so easy, and Coach Hedge still caught on to them, smacked Kate in the back of the head to get
I
them out.
love Coach
That was
Hedge at
fun.
the slightest provocation. He's like, all right, let me just keep knocking her out. Percy was like, no, she's immortal. She's gonna keep coming back. Break us out. He's like, fine.
Also, Percy has a tiny panic attack when he's first put into the tank, worrying that he's going to drown, and then remembering that he can't physically. Though
Yes.
surprisingly, that wasn't the end of that. I have suspected that would be like, okay, they're never going to bring it up again, right? Ha ha. No, they do actually. They do bring it up. This is a persisting fear with him throughout the book.
As my note said, good. Traumatize the child.
Good. Traumatize him. Don't make it go away so quickly. Get like a good.
In fact, give him another trauma. It'll be funny.
Yeah. Keep on piling them up. Careful what you wish for.
Give him a fear of heights. It'll be
Careful
funny.
what you wish for. Okay, next section is
no.
Annabeth. This is where that so
Wait, one more thing.
What?
Frank turned into a giant koi fish.
He did.
That's
Fun.
all.
Also the Chinese finger trap.
Oh yeah.
This is a special tool that will come in handy for later.
I can't believe it.
Yes.
I never would have expected that. I was wondering why they're focusing on it so much. I was just like, I cannot imagine the payoff for this. When I got to the end, I was like, I can't believe this is the fucking payoff for this.
Yeah, there was a moment where I realized what it was. There's a moment where I realized what was gonna happen there. But okay, so this is the part where Hazel mentions the whole Confederate like thing.
Yeah.
We've been joking about how ridiculous it is that the demigods are like representatives of major real life wars.
Yeah.
Before it was World War II that was brought up, but I believe the Civil War was brought up at one point as well. Though
It was.
This time
it was brought.
Specifically, yeah, like the Greeks were the North and the Romans were the South, or something to those lines. They kind of try to like cheese it, like, well, it wasn't like exactly a split, and they're like, but mostly. And Hazel, a black girl who grew up in the 1940s, is just like, what the fuck do you mean by that?
My literal grandma was a slave. What?
Well, what the
Rome,
fuck do you mean by that? And then Jason kind of has to like sheepishly be like, I'm
not
sorry.
All Romans.
Also, not all Romans.
Not all Romans.
It was pretty weak. It was kind of funny as it was like weak at the same time. I think I get what he was going for there, but it's like a bit it's messy.
Toothless.
Yeah, it's messy. It's kind of toothless. Even at a later point, they kind of try and like Leo is like kind of casually Roman racist against Hazel and Frank, and it's like
I remember.
And it's like, guys, the Romans are shit, man. Like they're horrible. They're the worst historically. No, like what are you doing, Rick?
All Leo needed to do to help add insult to injury there was probably bring up like, hey, listen, it's fine to trash on the Romans. They were slaveholders.
They were shit. Like historically, even take out the Confederacy part, they were shit, man. IRL. It almost feels like Rick was being a little non-committal there. Yeah, like he was trying to reflect how like actually some of the cultural flaws that was within Rome, because yes, there is a non-zero chance that they would have aligned more with southern interests than with northern interests.
They definitely would, considering Rome had their own form of slavery, not chattel slavery. Roman slavery was very different than American chattel slavery. Well, I say American chattel slavery. That's actually a bit of a misnomer. It's not American. It basically happened entirely within the New World.
But then he's also having to like walk it back, like at certain points when he realizes that some of his characters are like, you have like Hazel and Frank, who are like respectively a black girl from the 40s from New Orleans and a Chinese Canadian boy who definitely had nothing to do with any of that. And so it's like, Rick, I think this is just why bringing in those hard historical elements are always going to be a fucking mistake, because there's no way to do that in a way that like will work.
I think the only way you could get it to work was like, oh yeah, Greek and Rome had a civil war, American Civil War. No, no, they had a completely
There was
separate one. It was like East and West.
it was the shadow civil war that happened alongside the other one. No
Yeah,
affiliation,
no,
no affiliation.
yeah, no, no, no. They were fighting like East and West, nothing like South and North like
Yeah.
you're thinking. No,
Yeah, exactly. I've never read 39 Clues, and that you introduce it in that context makes me worry.
same here. But I have listened to 36 Questions of the musical.
I remember 39 Clues. It was it was a book series that it was in like my local library back when I was a kid. Shoehorning IRL history into a Family Feud narrative. Yeah, that's the vibe.
Oh no.
That's the vibe here. That's the vibe here. uh, so it's funny. I think and he keeps on wanting to do this too. He keeps on fucking doing this, but mostly what it causes is a bit of cognitive dissonance. So I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, I'm just gonna have to accept it. I like, I know what's kind of coming in Trials of Apollo, where it's like you have the like actual real life Roman emperors being important antagonists in that one, right? Like Commodus, Caligula, all of those. The thing is that I think that's like funny, right? Like
That's just more pathetic for Apollo.
it is very pathetic for Apollo, but also it's like funny, and like that's like so long ago. You're like, well, that's just it's like it's more just humorous or like a little like I don't know, a little weird, but you're not thinking about, or like you're not thinking too much about how like I don't know, Caligula like killed thousands of Christians, right? Like that's not really on your
No.
mind, because it's so long ago. It's not something that's relevant nowadays, right? Where it's like the Confederate, the whole Civil War. It's like that's such recent history.
Yeah.
That's world like World War II is not that long ago, brother.
Heck, we're still feeling the effects of both of those things.
Yeah, and so it's like when you bring it that much into focus, because I understand putting it a little bit up front, right? Because the whole idea of the series, right, is that you have old like ancient Greek gods in modern American culture. Those are events that were really important to modern American culture. That makes sense. That I get. Why do you keep on implementing those in the weirdest way possible? Why is it always the weirdest possible thing to where you're having to walk it back constantly like this?
Yeah.
My hope is that by the time we get around to TOA, that someone has told him this and that we can we can put this more behind us. So yeah. Oh, also, what happens in this chapter? Yeah, sometimes Rick's just painfully white. I complain about that a
Yeah.
lot in Kane Chronicles, because as a black person, some of it does not pass the sniff test whatsoever. Um,
Especially when he tries to depict experiences that he has no actual experience with.
yeah, Rick kind of to me is like the platonic ideal
Well
of a
meaning.
very well-meaning liberal white man, and that like, oh,
Mhm.
I believe he actually does want to represent these different types of people and different experiences for like all the right reasons. I just think that sometimes he doesn't do it well.
Mhm.
And I also can see too, he more and more as you go on, he starts introducing more co-authors to some of his books, more sensitivity readers. uh I've heard more active praise for depictions as you go forward than the ones that are behind us. So
Yeah.
I'm
Listen,
cautiously
the
hopeful.
post. Yeah. Listen needs to be set for you to continue off of, and like, well,
Yeah.
I guess that is perfectly serviceable, Rick.
Yeah, but I'll give him some flowers, and I think and I've yet to see him do or say anything that even implies that like a little that he is
Mhm.
less than a very like pleasant, very progressive person. It's just also white.
Yeah.
We have to learn to forgive him for that. Okay, so
Oh,
all ace
oh
girls
yeah,
become immortal archers. Well, that's just cool. That's just based.
yeah,
Next, we see Athena slash Minerva giving Annabeth the Mark of Athena, and she seems fine. And by that, I mean very much not fine. She's ranting and raving about how she wants to kill all Romans, about how she low key hates being Minerva. And this isn't something we hear so much from the other Roman gods. Having seen multiple gods who are having issues, including Bacchus slash Dionysus, just like a few chapters earlier, she is struggling more than most.
yeah. It's as if she's literally flip-flopping within the same sentence on who she is or what she even wants.
And she is, even for her, unusually mean to Annabeth during this point, essentially threatening disownment, and even saying that she must pick between Percy and Annabeth, and Percy and Athena.
Yeah. Her normal method of meanness is more apathetic neglect. Here it's just vindictive.
Yeah, it is. She even takes away Annabeth's the power in Annabeth's New York Yankees cap. She no longer makes her turn invisible. And yeah, later on we get in pretty plain terms that when it says the whole like Athena like wisdom's daughter walks alone, that it's not just that she needs to go on that little side quest on her own, it's that she is to do so without any special help, no special powers, no special key items, uh just
And her cap
herself.
no work.
Yeah, just herself, just her wits, all that's it. That is entirely it. And also her really expensive laptop, but that let's not worry about that. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah, also chapter 18. Annabeth mentions that the gray hairs that she and Percy got during the Titan's curse went away. And I and everyone else in the fandom all agreed no they didn't. No, they didn't. You're lying to me, and I'm going to continue drawing them in the fan art. Yes, cool.
I'm gonna
Glad
be
we
honest,
agree.
I actually completely forgot about that.
Yeah, canonically
It was only here.
canonically
Oh
they
god.
don't have them from here on out. You'll still see the fan artists draw them in though, because they're objectively cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I actually completely forgot about it until I read this.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why he like removed
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Consistency, I guess.
I guess, but
Maybe to help them like blend in better. I don't know.
I don't know. I want
Either way, I think it's funny how Annabeth remarked that the most sane gods seem to be love, revenge, and wine.
those guys are used to being insane. I think so. They're like, what things changed? What?
Yeah.
They're like, what?
The
Things are
fact that
different.
those ones are the sane ones is really saying
Mm-hmm.
something. When Bacchus is seen as a sensible person, something has gone wrong.
Though I think, ironically, and I've seen people theorize that Apollo, in both Greece and Rome, is like exactly the same. Hence why, like, Lester is still talking about his Roman situationship during that like era. So I like the theory that like he's also exactly the same. That basically just when Rome happened, he just kind of woke up one day and all his family was acting weird, and he's kind of like played along. He's like, it's fine. Okay. So I had already figured out what the stolen artifact was supposed to be before this point, but Annabeth here refers to a stolen statue, heavily implied and then later confirmed to be the Athena statue from the original Parthenon. Not the one in Tennessee that they visit in one of the books, I don't remember which, but or maybe was it just in the
Was that the
movie?
movie?
Was that just in the movie?
I think it might have been the
It
movie.
might have just been the movie. But the one in actual Athens that got raided by Romans way back in the day. The statue just kind of went missing. They're not really sure what happened to it. Most likely it actually got destroyed. Like in reality,
Yeah.
for sure. Um I think it was just in the movie then, that like original shitty Chris Columbus picture.
For the Hydra fight.
Yeah. The Hydra fight that also wasn't in the books. Well, it was, but that one was,
Not in that book.
yeah. Okay, chapter 19. Octavian is hot on their tails. And I made this specific note, which is that Percy did some cute shit. He like tells Annabeth like, "You dropped this," handing Annabeth her dagger moments after he hydro pumped the Romans into the stratosphere.
That was hilarious. Also, well, I say hilarious. No, I agree. Very cute. The thing I just wanted to bring up right now is we forgot to talk about Venus.
Oh shit, when?
Now,
Now.
you know, remember how they fought, and then it was right after they met with Venus, or was that before?
Let's pretend I do, and you're gonna explain.
All right, so they all had split apart. Remember, they're trying to look for things in Charleston, I think it was,
Yeah.
because of the tip they got back at the aquarium about some map.
Mm-hmm.
So, Annabeth takes Hazel and Piper to go to a place. I forgot what the place was, but they came across Aphrodite slash Venus. Basically, it was a lot of just. This was. Oh wait, shit! Was this a Piper POV? Am I jumping the gun?
Just continue. I definitely didn't take notes on this, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like
It
probably, but it's
surely it
fine.
must be because we're on chapter 18, right? Because I have notes about Venus here.
Just go. Just like go with
Bet.
confidence.
Okay,
Go with
shut
confidence.
that back.
Go with confidence.
All right, so, uh, basically it was just like, oh yes, Percabeth, such a great ship. Unlike Piper Jason, that's boring. But Percabeth is great. Oh, by the way, Annabeth, you should probably try checking Fort Sumter or something. Your mom has had troops, or not troops, had kids in there back during the Civil War. Oh, and by the way, Venus here was taking the form of like a southern belle, if I remember right.
Mm.
Which is why the girls had gone over to the fort area, which is where I think that's where the dagger drop into the water. Octavian's a bitch.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
because I have that marked as chapter 19. They get jumped by the Romans, and Annabeth's gonna find Frank and Leo.
Also, I have this written down. So while they're trying to get the map fetch quest, do the map fetch quest, which seems like
Mhm.
I don't know. This is where they started having so many fetch quests piling on top of each other that I think my brain stopped processing a lot of them, and
I am
they all
so
started
glad you
blending
had
together.
that issue. Because
It,
I did too.
and also they just started like having major events of it just kind of happen off screen because I think even Rick realized it wasn't that important sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
because I think it was uh Frank, Leo, I think Jason was back on the ship, and Percy had all gone to like some museum with the logic
Yeah.
of like, oh yeah, Frank's the son of Mars. Clarice had control over the defeated soldiers, maybe Frank will. And they went to a museum and like nothing really happened with them.
I have this note about around the end of that particular fetch quest, which is that Annabeth gotta rescue Jason, Leo, and Frank now because the boys are useless. And then below that, Percy isn't useless because as Annabeth's wife, he's one of the girls. Am I
Yes.
correct? Okay.
No, no.
Moving on.
Accurate.
Okay. Chapter 20. It's like hell yeah. Perfect.
Hell yeah, trauma.
So chapter 20, this quest felt a little protracted. That's mostly because they're focused on other things. They got the map, but more importantly, Reyna came to say that if they can't have the Argo 2, they'll be marching on Camp Half-Blood, since Annabeth did let slip where to find it back when they were still buddies for like 5 seconds. Annabeth pleads for Reyna to delay the attack, but doesn't get a real answer aside from Reyna letting her go with the boys. Later on, I think they say, maybe we have like a month until they attack. And they kind of pull that number from their ass, but it's fine. Let's just like
Yeah.
more or less codify that now. Leo POV!
Yay! Also, Spider Room. The Annabeth is very scared of spiders.
Yeah, that's like a nightmare she has, yeah?
Uh,
Or
we're on chapter 20, right? Because I think the nightmare came at a different part.
we're on
Because
chapter
this was the
21 right now. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
Screw it. Leo POV. Annabeth got the map
Like spider
needed
room.
in
What
the
the fuck are you
spider
talking?
room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um.
Yeah,
Okay. Chapter 21. Say halfway point becoming noticeable how much of the story is being glossed over because of all of these goddamn moving parts. The book is already really long, though. This is about the longest that these books go before they start really shortening again after this. Like the
yeah.
length really started to get
I
away from him.
hmm?
Length really started to get away from him. Um, and yeah, even though it does gloss over a lot, I could not possibly imagine a version that was like 200 pages long. So I guess because of that, I mean, we kind of talked about like early on in the stream that like this book, while I think both of us liked it a decent amount, definitely has a lot of concessions that like must be done because of the structure. Yeah, because of like how the plot has, yeah, we have 7 kids to be managing here, 7 different storylines and character arcs,
Yeah.
a major
Or
overarching
POV.
plot, and then the like side quest that actually constitutes the title of the book. um Things were going to get cut, if you didn't want the book to be like 900 pages long, and it's still like almost 600 pages long. Pretty long for a YA novel.
Yeah. I I would also like to say, considering both of us forgot like literal story sections,
Yeah,
uh,
the halfway section is a blur for me.
yeah, I think once they started to hit that Atlantic, where things kind of felt more consolidated, it was like, okay, I think I'm back on rails.
Once they hit Rome, I started locking in again.
Yeah.
All the stuff where they were still in America running around, I did not care that much. I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I have a note here of it is barely at this moment of appreciating Coach Hedge where I realize that Grover has been absent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally, I was just like, Coach Hedge is funny, being all gung ho, and then I realized, like, oh yeah, that's right. There used to be
Oh,
another satyr.
there's someone's missing. Someone's missing. I sense a disturbance.
There was another
We
satyr,
forgot about him.
Grover.
I says we forgot about him. Um, all that in mind, though, I have a feeling that going forward, Rick. I have a feeling at this point, around this time, Rick really started missing that 3 character format for multiple reasons. One, I noticed that most of the time, whenever they were doing one of those fetch quests, they would like contrive a way to really only send like 3 people tops on one of those
I
missions.
I think if I remember right, the logic they had said was like, oh yeah, the Argo 2 helps unmask the scent of demigods to monsters, except to the monsters of the giant eagles the Romans are riding. Ignore that.
Even though ostensibly it is a book about like the 7 of them coming together and working as a team,
It's
7
multiple groups that
characters is
pair
too
off.
much to manage. And I think Rick realized that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said I have the note. I bet he's missing the number 3 right about now. Okay. Chapter 22. Hazel brings Leo down memory lane where we finally confirm that Sammy is Leo's great grandfather. We can say it now. Yay!
Yay. I
Yay!
also I also put a note here of Leo has been taken to the flashback dimension.
Also, for another little retcon, Gaia said to Hazel that he died in the 1960s from a heart attack. And that is hard retcon. That is hard retcon. Rick, there was literally no reason for her to have lied about that. You changed your mind. I know you did.
He did.
She doesn't even say that, like, did Gaia lie to me? She just, none of that. Like, Leo, unless that he forgot that Leo could not have possibly been born in the 60s. Maybe that's what he forgot.
Rick forgot where the arch was.
Maybe
Riordan forgot something.
did he forget
Nonsense.
how time works? Did he forget that the series takes place in 2012? Did he forget that? My assumption is that he almost forgot because, like, maybe mentally, like, because what he did is he almost made Leo the same age as him. right? So maybe that's where the mistake happened. Forgot this didn't take place in the 80s
Yeah.
or the 70s. Um even though smartphones are mentioned. I'm gonna chalk that up to
Key for gore.
also Rick not great at math. We know this. We know this. It's the reason why every book from from the Lost Hero to like the end of Trials of Apollo takes place over the course of one very wacky year. Like
Mhm.
homeboy isn't that great at math. So let's move on.
And speaking of moving on, the flashback dimension strikes again, and yeah, they see the fool thing like, oh yes, Leo is Babu. I know what a Hera is. Oh, and by the way, they come back to reality holding hands.
Also, I figure the whole them adapting those books, they have to do one of two things, right? Either one, they just rewrite it so that way, it takes place over a longer period of time, or two, they just do a Riverdale and say like, "Nuh-uh, yeah, this 30-year-old man is still playing a 16-year-old. Fuck off."
It's so funny.
they're just gonna do. They're just gonna say, "Nuh-uh." Watch them. Walker.
It'd be
Exactly.
so funny.
Exactly. Okay. None of them like none of them better get a receding hairline. That'd be unfortunate.
Mhm.
Okay. Chapter 23, Frank and Leo. So they in
Remember how I said they came back into our dimension holding hands?
yeah.
Frank.
Frank did not like that. He did not appreciate that. But
Mhm.
whoopsie daisy, they're getting attacked all of a sudden by a shrimp monster with tentacles or something. This was quite the
Shrimpzilla.
Shrimpzilla. Why not? Frank and no sorry, Leo and Hazel get like snatched together, and Leo, of course, his first instinct is, I know how to solve this.
I'm gonna
Fire.
sacrifice my. Oh yeah, that too.
Also that, and Hazel, who has the very flammable manifestation of Frank's soul in her breast pocket, is very concerned.
Yeah, I would also like to put something here. I have this note written down. Hazel, do you trust me? No.
Yeah, that's basically how that went down. Pretty
Yeah,
much after
and
the
then
whole
I.
Sammy reveal happened, any ounce of crush that Leo had on Hazel went away like right quick. The second he was like, "Oh, you could have been my grandma." Oh, oh no, no, no. Okay, yeah, cool.
Listen, no
Crush
offense to
over.
Leo. No offense to Leo, but if a girl my age was revealed to have like that type of backstory, I do not mind.
Even if she
I
dated your grandpa, who you
that
look
part is
exactly like.
that part I am much more iffy about in terms of the age thing.
I think the weirder part is that she dated your grandpa. I think that's
Yeah,
the
no, that's
weirder part.
absolutely the main thing. But he brought up age more than his grandpa.
You read a BL like that? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Give the drop the wreck. Let's go.
I
Oh,
also like how Leo's second instinct at any given moment is to sacrifice himself.
or set something on fire or both. You know.
That's his first instinct. First
Yeah.
instinct, fire. Second instinct, well, guys, I've had a good run. Live without me.
Time to backflip off this mortal coil, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, because didn't he also do that with like that one or those what was it, ogres, giants,
He
whatever it
did. He
was?
did.
Yeah.
Most of what he does is crazy self-sacrificial moves. I'm sure that won't come back in any interesting way. Okay. So
Oh, he's a
so
mess. I love
so
him.
they get captured by some mermen, basically.
Yeah.
Some very tough looking mermaids. And while Frank and Leo are inside of the water prison, they begin to have a talk where Leo sorts through some of his, some of his worst antisocial tendencies. This is where I really got a peek into what I think Rick was going for here.
Mhm.
Where it's like, yeah, Leo's kind of sarcastic and doesn't really know how to talk to people. And while as a reader, it mostly comes across as charming and a little relatable. You have to remember that, Frank is a person, right? He doesn't know he's in a book.
Yeah.
You came across someone like that IRL, you might feel differently. So I think that was supposed to be the idea here. Frank also owns up to his kind of jealous tendencies that he's been having, which are significantly quelled when Leo openly says, like, "Oh yeah, your girl dated my grandpa, and I'm kind of feeling weird about that. So don't worry about it."
Yeah. I I okay, I actually have a note about it earlier because Annabeth had said something like, "Oh, does Leo make you nervous because of how he is with Hazel?" Something like that. I forgot how it was exactly. The note I have is, I don't know if I'm just broken from the Kane Chronicles, but please, for the love of everything, don't make a love triangle.
Also, I can tolerate an age gap. Drop it. I'm about to give a good faith review of Lore Olympus. You can I can tolerate a
Yeah,
little.
and I feel like I'm okay with the age gaps as
Mm,
well. It's the grandpa thing's the big stickler here.
mm. Yeah. I about like well, I don't think they can hear me right now, but yeah, that wasn't uncommon of like people kind of starting to turn on Frank around this time because of that, and
Mhm.
also like in this case it's not so much a race thing because they're both characters of color, but
Yeah.
it definitely is related a bit to how Frank is like described as not being conventionally attractive in the same way that the others are. Like Leo is still ostensibly, a pretty kind of elfish looking like twink,
Mhm.
where Frank being a bigger guy who's described as having a bit of a baby face, um like I think it's some of that bias that also bled through there a bit that like really got people against Frank in this whole feud, as I'm also acknowledging the like definite writing flaws that contributed to that as well. It's like it's all layered, it
Yeah.
all,
I'm
you
not
know.
saying this would have made it better, but if alternatively Leo, instead of having the POV, it was Frank who had the POV, I don't think people would be as against Frank. That
Yeah,
wouldn't make the
yeah.
story writing any better, but I don't think it would have had such criticism of him.
If we saw some of him, and it's like, again, you have to remember Frank doesn't know he's in a book. If you think about it from his perspective for a bit,
Mhm.
you can understand why he would be so suspicious of Leo and why he straight up wouldn't like the kid, honestly. um like, yeah. Also, yeah, I do actually appreciate, I think Frank is like one of the first characters that Rick did here that was like at least halfway decent representation of the race he was going for. um like Frank and Leo, honestly, both of them. So
Yeah. As a part-time Hispanic, I've really appreciated Leo.
part time, God. As a part time black, I prefer Hazel to any of the shit that Kane Chronicles had going on for sure. Even as I think it packs its punches now and again, but I think that is to be expected of a book like this. I wasn't expecting him to pull out the racial slurs, for example, even if
Yeah,
maybe it might have been a bit realistic at time, like from like at times. Hazel's 13,
especially during the
14.
flashbacks
Yeah,
most.
yeah, Hazel's younger than Frank. Hazel's younger than Frank. Hazel is 13 around, Frank is more like 16.
Why did I forget the concept of time when it came to those two?
Yeah. It's odd. It's for sure odd.
Moving on.
Let's not worry about it. I'm willing to at least be, I don't know.
I mentally age them
Yeah.
up where they're all kind of similar, I'll be honest.
If it makes you feel better, remember that Hazel spent like 60 years in hell. So so
Does not
mentally,
doesn't that make it an entirely different
no.
issue?
I don't know. I think it's maybe just Rick forgetting um
Character ages.
character ages, and also just the I think as an adult it's sometimes easy to forget the actual wide difference of maturity of a 13-year-old versus a 16-year-old. Even though a 3-year age gap to an adult does not seem like that much of a,
It's puberty.
yeah, that's not much of a big deal. Um So I think it's just one of those things. But also, Hazel spent 60 years in hell. If we want to get into age gap discourse, you know.
So Hazel's a groomer.
Exactly. It's weird from both standpoints, so that means it cancels each other out. That's how that works. Moving on. Let's move on. Let's go.
Moving on.
He said moving on so many times, and then
Leo
we
says,
won't do it.
"Hey, Frank, you want to see a fire?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Leo starts a fire in the cell, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's
He
time
almost
for your
suffocates.
interviews."
He almost suffocates.
Yeah.
So let's
Oh yeah,
see
Frank
here.
says, yeah, Frank alludes to his wood. He doesn't quite say it outright. He's just like, "Listen, man, I kind of have a thing with fire. Like, trust me." And then Leo's like, "Oh, it's gonna kill you because you're cursed." And Frank's like, "What the fuck, man?" And that's not what happened. And I don't think Leo quite outright said it there. I don't have a note about it, but I do have a note saying he sussed it out.
Mm-hmm. Also they get singled out for interrogations, which turn out to be just kind of the mermaids just having a talk with them. They're having a good talk. One of them sends them home with like a Tupperware
Brownies.
full of brownies. You know, I really cute.
More or less, the talk is the Captain America. So you're here for drugs or something, whatever it was. You know the video,
Yeah,
right? And more or less, it's that.
So you got detention. Sits backwards on a chair. So I
like how he said something completely different.
Starts
I
knitting.
said, "So you're here for drugs." I got some of it right, and I got that word that starts with D right.
So the Piper POV. Let's move on from that whole POV in general. Next, we got the Piper POV. We got to speed this up if we want to be here and if we want to be done in time for Boots' party.
Boots' birthday. All right. Piper kissed Leo on the cheek. Leo's got all there is.
Also, confirmation that Annabeth is looking for the Parthenos, and the 10 out of 10. Wait, here's a funny moment that happens. So after Leo and Frank return from like Atlantis, essentially, because our main characters, their brains are so broken at this point, they're just so used to just weird, odd shit happening to them all the time. They literally could not care less about the like underwater city of Atlantis discovery. They only care about the brownies, and Percy only cares that they didn't want to talk to him.
That's what I was about to bring up. Percy was so prudy. He's like, the sea people don't want to speak to me, the sea god kid.
But
why?
But they don't want to talk to me.
It's like, why? I'm like ocean guy. I want to talk to them. Like, yeah, no, there's like a whole bunch of ocean politics. But I'm not my dad. Like, just let it go, Percy.
But they don't want to talk to me. Chapter 26, the gang meets Hercules, aka Heracles, but don't call him that to his face. He doesn't like that one. The gatekeeper of the Mediterranean now. He fucking hates his job.
He doesn't like Herc because... Or not Herc. Wasn't it he doesn't like Heracles because Hera?
Because of Hera.
Yeah.
So usually he goes easy on demigods that come by because, you know, he gets it. He's been there. But they let slip that Hera sent them, and he's not interested anymore, putting them on a stupid, difficult quest for petty reasons. Also, the book makes a point to say that Hercules is very young, appearing to be like 18 to 25, and expressly stating that's how old he is when he dies. I understand the utility. We have very young heroes here, and putting him closer in age to them recontextualizes those myths in a neat way, connecting him to our current heroes, and really makes you feel bad for the guy at the same time. But I'm gonna call some bullshit real quick. Just because I know a little bit about the story of Hercules.
Didn't that man have like 2 sets of wives and kids at different times?
Did. So it doesn't really make... I mean, they even talk about it in here. They refer to it directly. Like this guy was married with kids and then remarried again after the first family died. Unless his first marriage was at 15, which is pretty unusual for a Greek man from his time period. Nah, 30, youngest. Absolute youngest. And that's still pushing it. And I know we just stopped talking about age gap discourse, but here's some more historical age gap discourse over here. So to get kind of gross about it, and I'm not expecting Rick to put this in his books because that would be gross. Average marrying ages for girls in Greece range from anywhere from 14 to 19 for a first marriage, and men tended to skew a lot older, like 25 to 30 for their first marriage. This gets worse when you realize that the words first marriage are doing like a lot of weight there, because you could easily have a man on marriage like number 2 or 3 or so on and still marrying very young, because, you know, women dying in childbirth, a thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sparta notably had their women's marrying age trend older, more like 18 to 20, with men on average closer to them in age significantly. So all that is to say, Hercules, if he did exist, would have died being older than 20 for sure. That's I did some article surfing to take those notes, so appreciate that.
Impressive.
Anyway, chapter 27. He sends them on a fetch quest to get
Aeolus.
Aeolus.
Yeah.
He's supposed to get they're supposed to get his other horn. Hercules like took the first horn some time ago. The horn is supposed to turns into a cornucopia, which gives like infinite food. Pretty useful. You know, seems like a useful thing to have. Also, he's doing this out of spite because Hercules like stole his girl, and I guess he wants to kick him while he's down. uh,
Oh, and he also is like all ominous, just like, you're dating a son of Zeus. Dude, that ain't gonna end well. Like, but where,
yeah.
like, remember the drowning or whatever.
Aeolus is not particularly like Jason. And this also is where we really start to see how unsure Piper is of this whole thing. Of course, the girl talk from earlier didn't really help.
Mhm.
She's all sorts of unsure about the direction of this romance and whether it should be or whether it can be for much longer. Pretty much every time Jason talks to her, she's like having an internal freak out about whether this is going to be the time he breaks up with her. Worrying a little
Weird,
bit.
not to be
Normal for sure. But like, you know, a
a little heightened there, ain't you?
little heightened there. She's on edge. She's on edge. It
Mhm.
also doesn't help that I don't care. I don't
I'm
care
gonna
about
be
this
honest.
relationship.
I think it's been for Piper's POVs. All my notes are rather sparse and are mostly just story summary.
They're both such boring characters.
Literally, chapter 28's notes. I have a single note of they take the horn, say "Screw you, Herc, you kind of suck," and then fled. That is my entire note for chapter 28.
They're both such boring characters. Fan art has done so much heavy lifting as far as like making these guys likable in my eyes. Because I go back to the books and I'm like, there's nothing. There's nothing to work with here. There's nothing here. They have nothing going
Meanwhile,
on.
Meanwhile, you want to jump to chapter 29, where we
Uh,
get to talk about Percy being lonely because Annabeth's having a fixation on
sure,
her
because
map.
like basically the entirety of my notes for this chapter are just me crashing out because I'm really over like a lot of the interpersonal relationships going on in general. Um I guess I'll put in the little note of like that Aeolus starts to come on to Piper and is like,
Oh shit, I
haha,
forgot about
yeah,
that.
yeah, haha, I'll take you away from this baby and I'll just kill Jason real quick, which is like interesting plot
Nope.
development there, especially since she, you know, then threatens to kill him, takes the horn herself, and is a bit of a badass about it. Piper can be cool every now and again. The
She
weird thing is
does
that
get some
after
rebel
that,
scraps.
she basically decides that like Hercules was the real villain in that scenario, and Hercules is a dick. He is shitty. You do find out that the woman he I'll put stole in like 5 different quotation marks because it's clear that she just wasn't into Aeolus. That he cheated on her, and this caused her to basically crash out so hard that she was tricked into poisoning Hercules. Um, but
Because more
yeah,
or less the story was she wanted Hercules around and
mm,
to stop cheating, so she followed shoddy advice. Turns out the advice was, hey, put this on his cloak. It totally won't poison him.
it
It
poisoned
poisoned
him.
him.
But Aeolus is still a major creep to Piper, and implied to be Deianira is her name, the woman's
Mhm.
name.
Day and night.
So Yeah, I don't know why she decides that he's another one of Hercules' victims. It's like, yeah, Hercules is like spiteful towards him in a way that like is as funny as it is kind of sad. But do you really want to go to bat for the guy that was kind of a sex pest towards you? I don't know. I don't
Honestly, I
know.
think it's just kind of a situation of sexual harassment or a shitty dude.
I think it's a situation of Rick Riordan being a white man again, and me being like, well, I
Yes,
guess I'll have to forgive
absolutely.
him for it again. I can only forgive you
Uh,
so many times, Rick.
it's okay. It's Lester.
Oh, yes, my. Anyway, Percy POV here.
Throw them
Um,
on, throw them all onto the boat. They have the horn. Percy misses his girlfriend.
my first note is Percy's sad because his wife isn't paying attention to him, and when he gets left alone, he gets lonely, like a dog being left at home all day.
I
He doesn't know what
loved
to
it. It
do.
was it was so cute.
He has a vision that probably involves Arachne talking to the giants about how bad she wants to kill the new daughter of Athena. Though they warn her
Mhm.
Gaia wants that one alive, she doesn't really care, of course. Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Also the ship is boarded. We have our newest mini boss being the Golden Boy, the son of Medusa and
Yeah.
Poseidon, who isn't very happy about what Athena and Poseidon did to his mom. Also, his crew are the men that kidnapped Dionysus and who he turned into dolphins.
Yeah.
Which,
Speaking of which, they invoke his name.
mm. Also, that one's kind of fun. I feel like that's one of the rare times. Most of the time, whenever you come across one of these villains in your brain, you're just like, "Wow, I feel bad for these guys. They just like slighted the gods a little bit, and they're being punished so badly just for what like Arachne, you feel bad for her. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we'll get into that later. Medusa, you definitely feel bad for her, and Chrysaor to a lesser extent, but like
I feel like I would have felt more bad for him if his first instinct wasn't, I've been cursed by the gods. Fuck it, I'm a pirate now,
yeah.
baby.
Also, though, I say all that to finish with fuck the guys that tried to kidnap and enslave Dionysus. If he wasn't a god, that was like. If he wasn't a god, they would have like I presume they've done that before. Those guys are slavers. Fuck them. Yeah, they deserve that.
Yeah, literally, their first instinct, pirate time. Apparently, they're decently good at it.
Feel bad for
We'll get
all
into
the
that in a
monsters,
second.
but fuck those guys in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, dolphins are
You
ontologically
are right.
evil.
You are
know?
absolutely right about that.
Dolphins are ontologically evil. Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
Okay, the gang's gambit though of like the girls start acting all crazy, like Hazel like collapses to the ground and starts convulsing. Frank
Faking
turns into a
hysterics.
dolphin. Like really, it's like he does like really bad acting too. He's like, "Oh no, I'm changing," and then he like actually does turn into a dolphin though. So how well he sold it didn't really matter.
The, hold on, the funny thing is like, oh no, and he's turning into a dolphin. Frank's like, wait, what?
What?
Me? He's turning into a dolphin. Oh shit. I'm turning into a dolphin.
Flops. Yeah, again, doesn't really matter how bad your acting skills are when you do turn into a dolphin.
I mean, I'd believe it if I saw
Yeah.
that.
What would your first assumption be? He can just do that? No. Also, Percy in the process dumps a bunch of Diet Coke into the ocean, which is a surprise tool that'll help them out later.
You're forgetting about the 2.4 million gold.
Oh, that too. I mean, Dionysus didn't care about that. So
I he said it was a part of the deal
it
for
was
if there's
gratuity.
like five or more. Yeah,
It was gratuity.
gratuity. Yeah.
So yeah. So earlier Dionysus mentions that in order for him to help them, because right, in order to defeat a giant, you need a god and a demigod. Hercules mentions that he was originally one of those demigods that you know went toe to toe with the giant back in the day. So they try to get Dionysus or Bacchus's help at the time, and he basically says, only if you manage to give me a proper tribute. And they said, well, like we're ever gonna be able to do that. Who knows what he wants? And then like hint hint, his favorite drink dumped by the like
Note,
hundreds of thousands of gallons into the sea.
note, this wasn't his favorite drink. That's Mr. D's favorite drink, not
Diet
Bacchus's.
Pepsi versus Diet Coke. Yeah, we'll have to see. I
Yeah, they sank a boat with a bunch of gold and all that coke. And they're like, yeah, this will probably do the trick.
I presume it'd still work. The difference in between giving him white wine versus red wine, it's
I
it's
mean,
like
yeah.
maybe it's not his favorite, but like he'll notice.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they're now in Rome.
They are now in Rome. Percy acts like a tourist.
Mhm. Hold on. I have one more note of chapter 31. So Percy went with Annabeth to the river. Frank, Hazel, and Lee are together because they were warned that due to mechanical technical skills, Leo has to be with them. And the tension between those three is so bad, even Percy noticed it. Even Percy.
Even that is impressive, actually. That oh god. Honestly, I was my note here is that his fatal flaw gets brought up again. His whole like would I sacrifice the world to save a friend? When he has to let Annabeth go on her quest, he's like, will I let her do that if she's gonna probably die? Well, he respects women, so yes, he is. But
Yeah.
he's gonna be torn up about it.
I don't know, if it was someone like, I don't know, Frank going there alone, he'd probably be like, I'm gonna do anyway.
Yeah. So, chapter 32, Percy is a tourist in Rome. So, a funny thing. So, I've been to Italy, and I actually thought they were decently chill about tourists personally. The only place I've traveled to, not just in Europe, but like almost anywhere that I thought was like weird about tourists was probably like Paris.
Funnily
Everywhere
enough,
else
they
I feel
weren't
like it's
that weird
chill.
when I was there.
Paris was the only place where I sensed any weirdness. Everywhere else I thought it was chill. But it is funny how he's like there like some waiter is like gritting his teeth as Percy orders a pizza and like Coke with uh,
Ice.
ice. Um
Basically, what that Italian was hearing was, I'll have myself a Coke with ice and a pizza. It
uh
was bad. It was, he stepped on every faux pas. And
I'm
Annabeth was like, bro, come on.
I'm actually not so sure that like I'm not so sure about the pizza thing being true.
Tourist.
Yeah, like whether that's just a
I
tourist thing,
think it would.
like maybe if you're like at a like I don't know, there are pizza restaurants in Italy.
I think the
Like
main thing is in Rome, pizza's often a tourist trap. That's true. But they also call the standard pizza like a margarita pizza instead of like a pepperoni.
well, yeah, fucking don't
But
order a
like that,
pepperoni pizza in Italy.
yeah. But like basically that's it. That's the only main differences.
Mm-hmm. But I would say yeah, maybe if you're at a like a regular restaurant, don't uh don't order a pizza. But like there are pizza places in Rome, some of which have like Michelin stars. Please go to them.
Yeah,
Don't feel like you're acting a tourist if you don't go to them.
they are expensive,
Yeah. Mm? Not necessarily.
aren't they?
No.
Michelin star sounds
I
expensive.
mean, Michelin star just means that you have that you've reached a certain level of quality. It doesn't necessarily mean expensive. Sometimes that goes hand in hand, but like
Yeah, because I feel like they'd often just come up with the excuse of, "Oh, we got this rating of quality, which means we could jack up prices and say, see, we did it because we're quality."
yeah, I mean, yeah, not every Michelin star restaurant is the same as you'll have your like Michelin star restaurant in like Vegas, which will probably be like $200 a person minimum, but like some Michelin star places are like holes in the wall in like interesting locations.
Oh, I see. Also, we're getting off topic.
That's fine.
All right. Woman's wrongs, aka Annabeth, is going into the pit of danger.
She is. Well, first of all, she's escorted by Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn, which are such old man picks. But at the same time,
Rick Riordan, the white man.
well, yeah, but also like Gregory Peck is like a formative crush for many people even to today. If you've ever been forced to watch How to Train a like or if you no fuck not what the fuck How to Train a no goddamn not god How to Train Your Dragon is To Kill a Mockingbird is what I mean. If you've been forced to watch To Kill a Mockingbird in class, you've seen Gregory Peck and you know how fine that man is. You understand. Of course, Audrey Hepburn is like maybe
Foundational.
like a foundational
Sensational.
beauty in American culture for sure.
Yes.
Also, Annabeth having a bit of a crush on Gregory Peck is like fucking adorable. They are actually though Tiberinus and Rhea Silvia, the spirit, the god of the Tiber River and the mother
Mother
of
of
Romulus and Remus.
Romulus and Ray. I guess Remus. He's not
Yeah,
important.
Remus was there as well.
Remus started a city, maybe. I guess.
Ah yes, my son Romulus and his brother Remus. Okay, Annabeth, the Annabeth section, Annabeth's solo adventure.
Mhm.
So as I explained earlier, Annabeth, she's on it alone. Not only that though, she survives on wits alone, no special powers to help her, not even her cool hat.
Yeah.
Um
Again, I found it very neat seeing the character's POV who has the brain cell.
mhm. So this is where chapter length started really shortening, so I have less notes as we go forward. So we can maybe kind of
Mhm.
go through some of this quickly as we're like getting
Speed
through it.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah, she basically runs into some ghost. They're members of a secret cult of some what was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Mithras. That's what it is.
Mm.
Where I even looked it up and it said like, oh yeah, descends from Zoroastrian belief, and Annabeth herself later says like, oh yeah, isn't that like Persian or something? And they're like, shut up, it's a war god, it's Roman.
Oh gosh, the Romans stole all their fucking gods.
The Romans stole so much of anything. They stole basically Greek culture, Spanish, what was it, swords or javelins. Uh, they stole Parthian horses.
The realest shit in Kane Chronicles was when that one tomb was just like, full of Romans who didn't even do the rituals right, so they're stuck there. It's like, yeah,
It's so accurate.
let's do some Rome slander. Let's go. Performative Roman male over here.
What the fuck you mean? Oh yeah, that's right, the shirt. I mean, oh no, Rome is the best. Rome is the greatest.
Oh my gosh.
Empire that lived 10,000 years.
I stole the
Ignored facts.
I stole the performative Roman male. There's like some person who made some Hitalia fan art of like Italy, like Italy's grandpa Rome, with
Mhm.
the label like performative ancient Roman male. It just showed him with like one of the things that I remember was like, oh yeah, Pazuzu amulet for protection, and like a little fucking Labubu reference there.
Uh,
Boy, that was very clever to me. Okay. Chapter 35, she manages to break the room that those guys are in like a show of power essentially by
mm.
using architecture, math, physics, shit that went over my
Oh,
head.
oh yeah, she was basically like, listen, so I know your guys' rituals and rites. How do you know this? I have a brain cell.
Just some
Oh,
cold
okay.
reading basically.
Basically. And then they're like, all right, if you really know our rituals and rites, destroy this room, bring the earth down. And she's like, bet.
But
And then she breaks her ankle.
oh yeah, she falls down, breaks her ankle. It's pretty tough. This is definitely Annabeth's suffering hours.
Absolutely.
Like even though I don't have many notes here, do not confuse that for not liking this section because I like it quite a lot. This was like
I
one of my
was
favorites.
I was quite invested as well. It's just a lot happened so quickly.
Annabeth's POV is interesting. It's relatively unique amongst this cast.
And Lin
It's
Manuel left a box with bubble wrap for her.
She did. He did.
She
It's
did.
fun.
He's baby girl.
Yeah. It's it's fun to see a character who's just like thinking through her problems, who's quick on her feet, who, it's just it's almost like a little
Witty.
mystery here.
Wisdom.
You're following this along with her and you know,
Mhm.
no other characters to be getting a bunch of interpersonal drama bullshit in this. So she's just pining for
It
her
was
wife.
such a it was such a refreshing scene.
It was. Chapter 36, she finds the statue way faster than I thought she would, honestly, considering the book was called Mark of Athena. But we are chapter 36 out of 52, so we're decent ways through. Surrounded by spider webs, of course, and she's freaking out about it. Arachne skitters in, and she's fucking terrifying. She's like absolutely terrifying. Like I'm scared of her.
I mean, I'd probably be okay with her.
Spider, bottom half of a spider, 6 black eyes. Um,
Would.
Guess I'm a coward, huh? Okay.
Yes.
You think you're better than me?
No, because I've seen some of your woods.
Okay. Okay. What is
yeah, a decent pacing of her finding it, considering it's gonna get back to her in 12 chapters.
Oh yeah. Though that's also why I suspect the last few chapters here are relatively short. That they're like, yeah, we want to get back to her quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Quite the cliffhanger. So we get Leo, Hank, and Leo Frank, and Hazel. They're making their way
It's
through
time to
Rome.
cook.
Hank is goddamn. Hazel is using her. I'm losing it. Hank is the
Walter,
ship name. Good.
Walter, I know you're doing drugs. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Hazel is using her metal sensing powers to track Nico, since he has his special sword, which is very unique. The Stygian iron. Frank and Leo are figuring their shit out / have mostly gotten all the way there, even though they snip at each other every so often.
Then Leo was Roman racist.
Yeah, Leo Underground, Leo's Roman racist. Already talked about why that's kind of uncomfortable. Why that's not the best, not the, well.
It'd be funnier if they were just like white. Just because Roman slander is kind of funny, in my opinion.
Yeah, but instead they get really offended about it, and you're kind of made uncomfortable as 3 characters of color try to sort out whether what the Mexican kid said was racist or not. It's like, come on, guys, this is weird. Yeah. This got weird.
Listen, next time we'll just say it to Jason and only Jason.
Jason deserved that. Jason deserved to be uncomfortable there a little bit. There, like white boy, yes. White boy. As far as book Jason is concerned, we do not. We're relatively sure that series Jason is going to be a black boy, but for now, blue-eyed.
And what we said regarding Frank and Hazel will also apply to Piper.
For sure.
For any potential faction rivalries.
Piper at least is already Greek, so she's
a little more than clear, but I'm saying like any potential other stuff in the future. Like she's native, like Cherokee.
Yeah.
So like she doesn't need more.
If it comes up.
Yeah. We'll see if it comes up.
Yeah, Lee also finds these like spheres of Archimedes, these special things that like he says the Romans were too stupid to figure out, of Greek make. Probably some kind of weapon.
Like, wow, the Romans were so stupid they couldn't figure this out and broke a lot of this. Man, how stupid of those Romans.
Mark was like, they made indoor plumbing, didn't they? He's like, what?
Yeah, that's basic.
It's like, ew.
Like that's all?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the Eidolons came back. Forgot to mention them. They're here now.
They're here now.
They're like, like we promised we wouldn't possess you kids, but nothing about these robots.
So they start possessing the robots, and Leo's like panicking, trying to get the spheres working. And in the end, he breaks open.
Mom, help me!
Breaks open the fortune cookie that he gets from Nemesis, and she said there'd be a price for it, but we don't find out what that is in this book quite yet.
Yes.
Gives him the code. She calls him boring, but still he manages to get control back.
Yeah, it's funny because initially when she was saying like, man, I really don't care for these fortune cookies, like screw you, Fortuna, this one is just numbers, how can numbers be lucky? And then here it's like, fine, your boring wish, here are your lucky numbers.
So Leo saves the day. We find out Nico's sword was actually just left there as a decoy right before Gaia traps them underground. But considering we have the girl whose specialty is being underground, the guy who can shapeshift, and Leo, I think we'll be okay.
Hold on. Note, Leo in a workshop.
Leo in a workshop, especially important. It's like
Mm.
Batman with prep time. It's like that's
Exactly.
that's important to note. Next
Uh,
POV is Piper. So a little thing, an initial note. They tried to give us some angst because they were like, you find out it's Jason's birthday, that he turned 16. He didn't tell
mhm.
anyone, and Piper kind of laments him not really being able to experience normal 16-year-old things. The box of scraps. I was saying, Jason, I was like, Leo in a cave with a box of scraps.
Leo, I am convinced
Yeah,
Leo could become Iron Man if he wanted to.
easy in like an afternoon.
It's just going to be an entire suit of celestial
Yeah.
bronze.
So
Also, my note on that is Jason pulled a "You're too good for me" line, then kiss Piper. This is the only moment of caring about them I can think of.
even though it was a bit, especially for this year, I feel like they've done that specific moment in this series so many times it like lost a little bit of value to me. How many times has a character sat down with another character and been like, you're only insert teenage age right here. You should be doing this and that and this and that. Instead, you're doing adventure things and suffering in the woods. And it's like, yeah, that's every character. That's like every
Yeah.
single character in every single one of these books over multiple series. Uh, like, yes, it's sad to some extent, but we've had this speech so many times. You don't need to do it again.
Hmm. Listen, everyone here has trauma. You ain't special.
Yeah. Once again, I'm like, Jason, try a little harder. Damn it,
Get more trauma.
get more trauma. Level up already. Otherwise they continue to be boring straights. Nico isn't
Yeah.
looking so good. Also
Oh yeah.
in
Hold
Mirror
on.
Blade. Hmm?
Yeah. Before they get off the ship to do whatever, they tell Coach Hedge to stay on,
Yeah.
and specifically Piper convinces him, saying, "You are the rock of the group. Leo will need you when they all come back."
Also, my knife has the baseball scores on them, so
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
does say
That
that.
too.
She
That
does say
was
that.
also kind of important.
Just say that. But yeah, so Jason, Piper, and Percy go ahead while the rest of the party are still MIA to rescue Nico because he is not looking
Mhm.
good. I think they even say that he's like all out of pomegranate seeds at this point.
Yeah.
So they enter an underground chamber, trigger a mini boss fight with 9 zombie nymphs. Chapter 43 is the more interesting story, and that it includes it's basically just a telling of an old Cherokee myth. Piper's grandpa explaining to her this story.
It's a nice myth. It was
Yeah.
neat, but
I
it
cannot
was mostly to
confirm
start.
how accurate any of this is, or even if this is a real myth, but she describes it as like the Cherokee version of Noah. Man is
Mm,
warned by his loyal dog who tells the man to like kill like the dog. Like the dog says like, "Oh yeah, throw me into the river so that way and then like build a raft so that way you and your family don't die in the flood." And
mm,
apparently the dog's like already a zombie at this point. Like even says like, "Oh yes, look at my fur. I'm already falling apart." The guy like is real sad, but he does it and he manages to live. And it's kind of a story about like, the loyal dog, and Piper's there wondering like, "Oh, hey, are we going to have to sacrifice ourselves for
mm.
this in order to get past here?" Not really. Like kinda, but
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't count if no one dies. Well, if they don't
yeah.
sacrifice the thing already, they didn't sacrifice anything.
My next note is turns out Piper was being dramatic, and while they had to use a lot of power, it only gave them like their sacrifice was taking 1 point of exhaustion.
Basically, more or less what happened was, oh no, poison water. Oh no, Percy's like, I'm gonna
Percy's
drown
like
in this,
actually
and then
drowning.
yeah, and then they're like, oh wait, more water. We're just gonna dilute the poison so it feels nice. And the nymphs was like, oh, oops, sorry about that. We remember what water is now. We're going to leave.
And they kept on describing them having to like give all of the power they had inside them and pour out all the power in order to cleanse the nymphs, and it pretty much just ends with them being like a little tired. Like,
Yeah.
that's about it. Like, Percy has to give Jason magic CPR a little bit. That's about it. The lips don't even touch. It doesn't count. I remember
Yeah.
Percy X Jason was a decently popular ship back in the day.
Wow, people are really fishing for scraps.
They were. I don't quite get the ship personally. They just kind of wanted the two main character boys together. That was it. I'm more no. It's no.
Honestly,
Like
I'd sooner buy in for Leo with anyone else.
yeah. Argo 2 crew, world's worst polycule. Exactly.
The worst
World's worst fucking polycule.
dysfunctional
Yeah.
polycule.
I'll like
Uh, what
even
happened
like
in chapter 45?
I
Oh,
don't
go
know.
on.
Even like Jason, Leo, any ship with Jason, I'm like I feel like that person could do better. Any ship with I feel like that person, like Leo with Jason, Leo, you can do better. Come on, don't get taken in by the jock by the first like white jock, like kind of attractive white straight man that was nice to you. Don't fall down that trap. Okay, so Percy chapter 45, giant confrontation time. Was it just me, or did the giants I like forgot consistently that the giants were actually our boss, like final boss threat? It didn't feel like a boss fight.
No, they kind of were just performing
Yeah,
and stuff happened. I'm gonna be honest, I only
not
have one
really
note. They
very
encounter the
intimidating.
giants, and the giants say August frozen's when Gaia shall wake.
uh
That's literally my only note.
there's Wonder Bread. I thought that was funny because Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
um and that they're like, we're gonna give Rome what they want: circus and bread, entertainment and food. So they actually literally drop like packets of Wonder Bread on these guys. Bread and circus, yeah. You. I'm just so glad. I'm like, oh, someone actually read the book more for this. Someone actually did it. I'm so happy. And sitting through this live. Yeah. So it's been ages still. Um, yeah, the fight commences. Heroes are on the back foot. They find Nico. Luckily, he's like unconscious, but he awakes. He's not doing great. Mr. D arrives, doesn't do shit.
I thought
Um,
this was Bacchus.
Bacchus arrives. Mr. D. Percy calls him Mr. D in the chapter.
Yeah,
I
but
can
he
call him
preferred
Mr. D.
Diet Pepsi. This is Bacchus.
I'm gonna call him Mr. D.
Okay.
So he's here to help on the condition that they entertain him, and to do so, he brings them to the actual Colosseum. Maybe the coolest
With a
set
ghost
piece
crowd.
to date. Yes, with the ghost crowd. He also gives Nico and Piper actual medical attention, so he doesn't just show up with a. He doesn't just show up an hour
Corpses.
late with the Diet Pepsi. He does some help initially already.
Yeah.
So, Percy and Jason work together, defeating the giants, realizing that they all work together, work best as a team, bringing their earlier conflict full circle, essentially, even though we know for a fact that, no, Rick is
It was
never going to have them be working in a team of 7 consistently. That is way too much to juggle.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I said Mr. B because D backwards is B. Do that.
That's funny.
Oh yeah. Also, Percy like took a nasty blow to the stomach that made me nervous, even though it doesn't really like come to much by the end of the book. It made me nervous. He kept on describing how it hurt, and I was just like, this kid is the type to say like internal bleeding. That's fine. That's where the blood's supposed to be. So I'm just like nervous. This whole time.
For me, I was just thinking like, oh, okay, this is just showing battle damage. This isn't gonna be anything
HP
bad.
damage. Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
definitely where. That's definitely actually what it was. But I was nervous because I'm like, Percy is that type though.
You are right about that.
So coordinated attacks and a big explosion later. Mr. D just kind of taps them with the pine cone. I think that's also why the boss fight was just kind of like whatever. Because I'm like, yeah, he's kind of like, boop. Arachne was more of a boss fight, but that pretty much only involves Annabeth.
Still,
So
it's technically a boss fight.
yeah.
You know, because basically, yeah, they all kick the giant's ass, and then Bacchus comes down and is like, haha, I've been entertained. Poke, it's dead. I did my job. Thanks for the boat, idiots.
Notably, though, this is the most important part, Nico explains the next leg of the quest. They need to close the doors of death from both sides. One side is in Greece, guarded by Gaia's forces, and the other side is
And the
in the
other's in hell.
deepest pit of Tartarus. It's called the House of Hades, and it is undoubtedly the more difficult one to get to. Nico was apparently pulled down there for a bit and is really super not okay. Continuing a trend that I quite like of Rick kind of just traumatizing Nico in the background of every book.
It's very important.
But
Very good character
but
development.
still, they need to rescue Annabeth. So, Annabeth's section. This is like the
Mhm.
last section of the book essentially.
Yes.
So,
Well then,
first off, Arachne. You know the it,
later.
yeah. So the Arachne story, which is told in a couple different ways. I've seen a few different tellings. There's a few elements that are the same. The woman named Arachne, she challenges Athena to a weaving contest. And whether she wins or loses, that one can sometimes change. Sometimes it's that she wins and Athena is a sore loser, and other times it's that she loses and Athena is a sore winner. Here it's implied that the latter happened. Um, and so, you have Annabeth here attempting a bit of a mind game with Arachne. Because, she's physically down for the count. It's all she got left at this point. She starts flattering Arachne by saying her work belongs in Mount Olympus. And remember, Annabeth was put in charge of remodeling it post-destruction in the original series. She even says that Arachne's tapestries making fun of the gods could be well received if given strategically, since so many of the gods hate each other. She might actually have a point about that, but that,
She absolutely
yeah.
has a point.
Only thing is, it would
It's
definitely get back to the god who is making fun of, and they would be mad. No way she would get away with it for very long.
no, not particularly. But Annabeth is right about how Ares would most certainly appreciate something defaming Athena.
So, this is where the Chinese finger trap comes back, and she tricks Arachne into making a giant Chinese finger trap, essentially. I mean, it doesn't say like that exactly, but we know because she mentions like
Yeah.
this is something
I
that
think it
Frank
was
showed
described
me.
as like
Yeah,
an interlocking web or weave, something like that.
yeah. Um, So, the gambit works, of course, especially as Annabeth continues laying it on thick, even saying Arachne could become a goddess. Though part of her starts to question if Arachne's punishment was just, which interesting. Even though Annabeth immediately represses that and is like, no, saying that any Olympian is second best, especially Athena, was a one-way ticket to hell or worse. Which super healthy. Don't worry about that.
To be fair, even if Arachne's cocky, she still had impressive work.
There's a lot of there's a lot of examples in the series in general of people who were screwed over by the gods, and some of the demigods question it. Annabeth is not one of them. This is a character flaw that we've known about her for a while.
Yeah.
Uh,
But either way, Arachne gets trapped.
Arachne gets trapped. But still, she starts thrashing around so much that
Collapse.
yeah, that it starts to collapse. And but it's okay. The Argo 2 comes through, punches a hole in the ceiling, which apparently is a parking lot that Mr. D, told them about earlier. And the collapse. Arachne fell, the statue is fine, but Annabeth lost her backpack, laptop, and even her knife. So Annabeth is like out of key items at this point. But
Yes.
and here's the kicker. Here's the true end of book twist. Annabeth's leg is caught by Arachne's web. Arachne
Dun,
intent
dun,
on
dun.
taking Annabeth down with her. Percy goes to grab her, but the web is too strong, Arachne is too heavy, so his options are either drop Annabeth or let go of the ledge. And this is Percy, so you know which one he chooses. He grabs Annabeth, and the two fall into Tartarus. The remaining
Honestly,
heroes,
it's
yeah.
honestly gonna be honest. That moment made me grin specifically
Like,
because
oh,
of what Percy had said. We're staying together, he promised. You're not getting away from me. Never again.
Persebeth, my Persebeth heart. Um, that does.
Also, I want to
Mm.
put this there. His face was gaunt, scraped, and bloodied, his hair dusted with cobwebs, but when he locked eyes with her, she thought he had never looked more handsome.
Ooh.
Percabeth is great.
So, hence why this last section, it's only 3 Annabeth chapters. The last chapter is a Leo chapter, who
Hey, my boy.
he describes the heroes securing the statue, and being pretty depressed because they're not like sure that Annabeth and Percy aren't dead, though Nico and Hazel say they're not yet. Um the way that like Nico was describing Tartarus though, even Percy was just like, "Oh shit, he seems like not okay emotionally after that." Um and so yeah, Leo is not it's not exactly looking bright. A new timer is put up of about 1 month before the Roman siege camp Half-Blood, a number that is mostly just pulled out from their asses. But it's fine. They have that long to find the doors of death, to go to them, carve through Gaia's forces, and they just have to trust that Annabeth and Percy will find the doors on their side and will not die in the process. So, yeah, that's how Mark of Athena ends. Quite a dark note to end on, for
It
sure.
is, but I kind of appreciate it for that.
I do too. It's a good enough ending that to me it won back a lot of goodwill, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been very up and down on this book. Like you even see like certain days where I read where I'm like, ah, this is great, and other days where I'm just like, this is the worst book in this series. I hate it.
I find it
Um,
funny that a lot of my notes correlate with something similar as well, where it's just like, oh, that's a Piper chapter. Like one, maybe two, 3 notes, 1 to 3. Whereas like others, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, have like a full mini paragraph.
it's yeah, it's interesting. At least we're now into territory of like I've not read any book past this. I've simply been spoiled on certain elements through fandom osmosis. Um but I'm excited to actually properly finish the Heroes of Olympus. Um Leo and Lance have the same character appeal. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Um so yeah, House
Oops.
of Hades, Lance from Voltron. Don't worry about it.
Ah, okay.
They do have the exact same character appeal, though. You're correct.
Maybe I should watch Voltron.
Maybe you shouldn't.
The Leo power's not strong enough.
Uh, I just like no. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't. Also, it's not very easy to get your hands on nowadays. Though there is an
Ah.
archive.org.
Yo ho,
Yo
yo
ho.
ho,
Yeah, yeah.
pirate
The whole like
Caribbean.
DreamWorks Netflix thing is kind of disintegrated from what I know. Even like Shira, the Shira show is either being taken down soon or is already taken down. So a lot of the DreamWorks Netflix stuff is probably going away. Um, Kipo's leaving. Yeah, yeah. A lot of the DreamWorks animation stuff is going away. And since they didn't bother to put Voltron anywhere after that one going down, I don't have high hopes for the others. So now's the time to try and, you know, make sure you have it before it goes away.
I see.
Yeah, yeah. Like I personally have my own little. I mean, I just hate how they didn't even do a DVD release for Voltron. That sucks. That especially sucks. So, boo. We're done here. My voice is broken. We have a birthday thing to get to.
What are the chances one slash both of us are going to do karaoke then?
High, very high.
Hell yeah, I hope they're in a karaoke world. Well, then, shall we head off? Unless you have any final sayings.
My only final sayings is that we will be seeing you guys on March 7th for House of Hades.
Catch y'all then.
Catch
Well
y'all.
then, lurkers, chatters, here for a little, here for a while. I thank y'all the same. This is Luck powering off, and remember, everyone, lucky days.
And 3, 2, 1.
Good
Good
night.
night.